to Sal's NBL Rapid League basketball on your Saturday night. Bumper clash for you tonight with the Rapid League game up first and later the full Sal's NBL title fixture. It is the Auckland Tuatara visiting the Otago Nuggets at Edgar Centre in Dunedin, two of the form teams of the Rapid League competition so far. My name is Nathan Lim, alongside me former Nelson Giant Tom Ingham. What are we expecting from tonight's contest, Tom?
Yeah, I'm expecting a barn burner tonight, Nathan. You got two teams that we see right there in terms of the table. The Auckland Tuatara sitting right at the top, and the Otago Nuggets not too far behind them. So these are two quality Rapid League teams who will be looking to continue to try to work their way out the table tonight.
100%, with both of them coming off losses. I suppose the Nuggets going down to the Hawks and the Tuatara getting upset by the Sharks in recent weeks. So both with a point to prove.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Otago Nuggets will look back at that Hawke's Bay game and were guilty of fouling, allowing the Hawks to get to the line. Then the Tuatara will be upset about that Southern one, so definitely a point to prove.
100%. We've got the action coming up for you in just a minute. Let's take a look at the Auckland lineup. We've got Wiley, Kailahi, Aso, Ioane, Dalton and Ledger, the starting five for the Auckland Tuatara, and probably looking at Ioane as their lead in the attack side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is a guy that's came out in the NBL game and really proven a point in terms of trying to get some more minutes. And the other one I'm looking to is Josh Ledger. He's had a leadership role within this Tuatara team, and this is a guy that can be relied upon to do some damage.
100%. Let's take a look at the Otago Nuggets lineup in just a second. We're just a couple of minutes out from tip-off, and here we have it. Smiler, Tata Paese, Hunt, Chisholm and Bezet. Plenty of firepower in this lineup, Tom Ingham. Probably looking at Tata Paese.
Yeah, Tata Paese is a guy, in terms of the Manawatu Jets, really made some waves, had some damn near 30-point games. And then the other guy I've been really impressed with is Toby Hunt. You know, his first real taste of NBL action and has taken the most of the opportunity. Let's
take a look at some of the stats we've got here. Both teams, as we said, coming off losses. But in terms of the Auckland Tuatara, probably not putting up as many points, not conceding as many points. Are they going to look to try and slow the game down?
Yeah, I think so. And the funny thing is, this is almost polar opposite compared to their NBL type of stats, as you'll see later on. But I think with the size the Tuatara have, they can control that paint a wee bit better. So that's why you see the drop in both of those for and against.
Just a couple of minutes, or just a few seconds rather, away from tip-off. Auckland Tuatara and the Otago Nuggets Rapid League contest on your Saturday evening. Plenty of sport on, so thank you for tuning in on Sky Sport and having basketball your Saturday evening. Bezet up competing for the ball here for the Nuggets, but it'll go the way of the Auckland Tuatara. And first attacking chance here. Ledger. Oh, making it to the rim and nicely off the backboard.
And I love that look for the Auckland Tuatara, getting that inverted pick and roll and allowing Josh Ledger to get downhill and make the most of that size advantage.
Chisholm feeds Tata Paese. Such a scoring threat is Tata Paese, especially from beyond the arc. And oh, what a statement to start us off here, Tom Ingham.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great sign for Tata Paese. Struggled against the Hawke's Bay Hawks, so to see him make his first one, that's going to do a world of good for his confidence.
Ledger again with it, tried to get the offload away, and luckily it does fall still for Auckland. It's Josh Wiley with the ball. Spinning and trying to find the rim, and oh, does so nicely. The Tuatara, their second bucket of the night. And
it's like we talked about in pre-game, this Auckland Tuatara team feel like they've got a bit of a size advantage, so heading to that post straight away.
Chisholm looking for Bezet, and Bezet gives it up to Hunt, won't go, and Auckland come up with the rebound.
Great action there from the Otago Nuggets. Everything but the finish on that instance, but we know Toby Hunt more than capable of finishing those ones.
All to the rim and nicely laid in there from Ledger. He's making an impact early in this contest.
Yeah, Josh Ledger off the bounce, showing the guard-like skills, going straight down to the cup with the left too.
Toby Hunt with the ball, finds Tata Paese. Can he make it 2 from 2? Oh, he can! What a statement again from beyond the arc. Tata Paese, that's 2 from 2.
Yeah, you got to watch out. If you're the Auckland Tuatara now, you got to be going over screens. You cannot. That is a tough finish. But if I'm Tata Paese, I'm trying to get that ball right now. Let it fly again. Why not?
Tuatara, meanwhile, consistent. They'll go from beyond the arc again, and oh my goodness me, Chisholm this time.
Great look there from Chisholm. So that's 3 threes now from the Otago Nuggets. So we'll see if the Auckland Tuatara make a bit of an adjustment as to how they're guarding that three-point line.
Wiley, what can he do? Looking out to Casey Ioane. Into the paint, spinning. Can he put the ball up off the backboard, but draws the foul?
Yeah, and great job there from Ioane. Sees the smaller Tatapaese on him, and definitely polar opposites in terms of the offense right now. The Tuatara really trying to bang bodies down low, and then the Otago Nuggets lighting it up from outside.
Heading to the Chemist Warehouse free throw line. It'll be Ioane to shoot our first free throws of the evening. First one doesn't go.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Ioane and how he started this season. You know, this is a guy incredibly strong for his age, and then his athleticism, when he gets out in transition, man, it is a sight to see.
You need a rapid league, 4 4-minute quarters. Way to get New Zealand talent into the action as much as possible. This one falls for Ioane. Tatapaese, can he make it 3 from 3? Oh, you betcha!
And the Auckland Tuatara, that is way too much room now for Tatapaese. If you have to make sure you're face guarding him, not giving him any easy catches, because that is too easy once he gets going.
Got to shut him down. He's so dangerous, and he has yet to miss all of his attempts from beyond the arc. Ioane draws the foul again.
And great attack there from Ioane. As you see, Josh Ledger is causing a lot of attention there in the paint. So what that's going to start to do is allow driving lanes. But right now, that is way too much room, and a miscommunication you can absolutely not have when he is going like he is.
What's the best way to deal with players like that who are so lethal? Are you double teaming him, or you just got to shut down the space?
Well, I think right now for the Tuatara, it starts with physicality. Like Tyson Tatapaese needs to know that someone is right there, and I'm trying to make body contact with him straight away and not make him feel comfortable in any sense, because as soon as he starts to feel comfortable, he does not need much room to get that shot up.
12-10, Nuggets with the early advantage, and they've been hot from beyond the arc, have yet to score a 2-pointer, and they'll go again for 3. This is the first miss, I think, that one from Chisholm.
And yeah, Chisholm, why not once you got it going? But right now, if I'm the Auckland Tuatara, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, get straight back downhill.
Dalton was looking to put it in off the backboard. The Tuatara end up drawing the foul.
Yeah, and this is something the Otago Nuggets struggled with against the Hawke's Bay Hawks as well. It must have been a rapid league record in fouls, just continuing to go back to the paint. So the Tuatara have obviously seen that, and straight away trying to make the most of that size advantage, get fouls drawn on them early, and try to get the Otago Nuggets into that penalty.
Daly Pohil off the bench and into the action, straight to the Chemist Warehouse free throw line. Makes it count too.
You see right now the Tuatara just extending that pressure a wee bit, but that's we talked about again. Got away with it, but that's going under on a man that is 3 for 3 before that.
Really did feel like they got away from it. Feels like every time he gets the ball, Tatapaese, it's going to go in, and that's his first miss of the night. But there's Pohil getting involved in getting his first genuine bucket.
Yeah, and great job in terms of reading back cuts as well from the Auckland Tuatara, showing that they've got the presence of mind to be able to do that. There's another good look from 3. I don't know if the Nuggets have shot a 2 yet. They've just been letting that thing fly from 3.
No, yet to shoot a 2. That was Zet with the attempt. Now here's Wiley. Pick and roll, ball back to Ledger. Ledger's gonna float it up, and does so nicely, Joshua Ledger.
Yeah, found it himself, Josh Ledger. I'm loving the move and the attacks from the outside as well. You know, showing that he's got the presence of mind to post up. And you see that last one, my old flatmate, Josh Ledger, coming down smooth with it.
What was he like as a flatmate?
Better be careful, his parents are watching this broadcast, no doubt. But nah, I love my time living with Ledger. He's an absolute character. You know, it was him, me, and my sister. So, I mean, she was the boss of the flat. So, no, it was a good time.
I bet. Don't forget, head down to Sal's, get yourself large cup pepperoni pizza, $35. Use that online code, Sal's Dish 26, valid until the 20th of May. Boy, could do with some pizza.
Yeah, night for it actually, starting to be a bit cooler. Get your large cup pepperoni pizza, get it going.
Strong start, I suppose, obviously from beyond the arc for the Nuggets in this contest. As a coach, do you think you're trying to get them to push the paint a little bit more?
Yeah, well, I think the big thing right now, if you're the Otago Nuggets, you want to try speed the Auckland Tuatara up a wee bit because they're having success in terms of posting up. So I'd like to see the game get a bit more up and down. But then, if the shots are falling from three, great, but you also don't want to get into a situation where you're living and dying by the three. So if it's there, for sure, take it. But I think feet in the paint are going to be key to success for this Otago Nuggets team. The
Tuatara leading 16-12 after the first quarter. It'll be the Nuggets with the first possession. And they have it through Oak Chisholm.
I'm interested to see the pressure here from the Tuatara for a start. Already looking to switch, but you see straight away trying to push Pallacanestro out a bit deeper.
Oh, he'll have a go from three. No, he doesn't. Prove me wrong. Driving into the paint and draws a foul.
And a bit of gamesmanship there too. Love that from the lads.
First opportunity from the Chemist Warehouse free throw line for the Nuggets in this contest. Auckland probably will be happy to give away the odd foul, and as opposed to giving Pallacanestro that space. He's been so lethal.
Yeah, absolutely. With his Smiler there, great up and under move. You know, I love that from Caleb Smiler. But yeah, absolutely. And I think the physicality, it comes again comes down to that. You've got to make sure that you're up and in, not allowing any easy catches. But Caleb Smiler is a guy I've been really impressed with for the last few years, you know, in terms of what he brings to a game. He doesn't take a backward step. The physicality's there, shoots the ball well, but then also very strong at going to the cup.
Two from two for Caleb Smiler. Here's Wiley bringing the ball back up for Auckland.
And it looks like the Nuggets here gone to a bit of a zone to try and clog the paint a wee bit.
Oh, intercepted.
What a steal.
Oh, can't make it go off the board though, so missed opportunity, and the Tuatara with a bit of a let off there.
Yeah, that's a great steal from Pallacanestro. We gutted about that one, want to take it back as we see Matty Dalton not in that instant.
Auckland can't have to let off count, and nice intercept there.
Yeah, we're a bit careless there from Smiler in terms of that pass. The Tuatara doing a good job at clogging the paint, but again, a wee bit short in layups from both sides.
Dalton not afraid of the contact, is he? Off the board, won't go, but draws the foul.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. If it doesn't go, make sure you get the ball and go straight back up. So great job there from Dalton, continuing to put heat on the rim. And this Otago Nuggets team, again, fouling at will. So the changes will need to be made. I think that 2-3 zone will help.
No problems for Matt Dalton on the free throw line there. This one bounces out, and Nuggets come up with the rebound. Smiler finds Chisholm, a nice little bounce pass, and the block rejected at the board.
That is one heck of a block. See Dalton going straight back down, but man, we need to get a replay on that one because that looked like it was all but certain. Heck of a pocket pass there. Threads the needle, boom fire.
Get some of that down, you hit the floor as well.
Man, I wish I was that athletic.
You played rapidly. What did you like about it?
I love the up and down, but I certainly didn't love it when you got guys like that flying through the air. When you got someone that's not incredibly athletic like myself, that was easy pickings. But I think just the up and down of the game, and like I was talking to you about before the broadcast, just a great way to settle into the game. And Ledger straight back down that post.
Auckland up 6, 2.5 to go in the second quarter of this Rapid League contest. And Chisholm, pass did find Tata Paesi eventually. They'll have another go from beyond the arc. That one won't fall, and just struggling a little bit more in this quarter to get the scoring going, Otago.
Yeah, and it's one of those things when you hit a few threes and you're feeling good, you start letting it fly constantly. But the Otago Nuggets, I think they need to get back to moving the ball side to side and trying to attack that paint. As Josh Ledger right now is having a field day down low, minus.
The commentator's curse is Tata Paesi trying to make something happen and draws the contact.
And I think that's exactly it, because, you know, because the Auckland Tuatara are putting such an emphasis on getting the ball inside, if the Nuggets do get a rebound, look to push the tempo, and Tata Paesi does a great job there.
Don't forget, we've got a Hoops and Schools program as well. You can apply using the QR code on the screen, and every made free throw goes towards some more basketball equipment. Schools around New Zealand. Here's Tata Paesi. Won't go.
But I think this is especially important. Even though that one didn't go, the fact that Tata Paesi is now looking to turn the corner and continue to be aggressive. You know, he has swung the ball a few times, which is good, getting it side to side. But I think if he's a guy that's got it going early, I'd like to see him get aggressive and continue to attack the cup.
What can Auckland do? Happy to take their time a little bit more. From beyond the arc, they'll have a go. Won't go, but Dalton gets the rebound, tries to put it through, and Nuggets come up with it. Tata Paesi up to the rim again. This time it goes.
And great job there from the Otago Nuggets, you know, sitting in that zone. You know, Matty Dalton will want that one back, but I think that zone right now having a lot of success in allowing the Auckland Tuatara to shoot, which not doing a great job from outside and three right now.
Yeah, poor Heel missing that one. He's got 4 points so far, almost picks up an intercept, but it falls for the Nuggets. Now up at the rim, competing there is Bizet, but that one won't go. Does come up with it though, the offensive board. Tata Paesi thought about the three. Eventually goes to the rim and draws the contact again.
And it's great awareness from Tata Paesi. Obviously came out bang, bang, bang from three, but as you know, one didn't drop, and the Otago Nuggets been a wee bit guilty of living and dying by the three-point line in this game. He's taken it upon himself to really attack the paint, draw those fouls on the Auckland Tuatara.
Off the front of the rim from Tata Paesi. Missed a fair few free throws, actually, both sides.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. In such a short game, these are opportunities that you absolutely have to make the most of. So, you know, the Otago Nuggets in the NBL as well, not a great free throw shooting side. So it's something that they're going to have to look to clean up.
Yeah, 4 from 15 from the field for the Nuggets in total. 7 from 13 for Auckland. What can they conjure up here? Both teams struggled a little bit more with the scoring in the second quarter. Things have just tightened up a little bit. Still can't get the bucket to fall.
Yeah, I think better action there from the Auckland Tuatara in terms of trying to attack that zone with the high-low action, but in that instance not able to get it. And that is one you cannot give up.
That's a Paesi and attempting the three. Draws the foul. 30.5 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, Tata Paesi, he's tracking for a potential career high here in Rapid League at the moment, which, considering the scoring outbursts he's had in this league over this last couple of years, man, but he has to start making those ones.
13 points so far. This Rapid League contest, and of course, not even halfway through.
Yeah, and really scoring at all three levels and doing a great job, Tata Paesi, but getting back to the free throw line, these are the ones he can make the most out of, because that's going to help him continue that rhythm to keep going.
Third attempt, 1 from 2 so far. This time it falls for Tata Paesi, and we're locked up at 20 all.
15 points, outstanding.
Looks like we've got a BNZ player timeout being taken as well by the Auckland Tuatara. Seeing what they get in terms of how they attack this one. But first, before we talk about that, make sure you scan that QR code for your ticket to the big game for a chance to win tickets to this season's games. But in terms of how the Auckland Tuatara attack this, I think that high-low action is really good with Josh Ledger patrolling that paint, because if he does have room, if he can get a step, then he can make sure he attacks and gets a nice wee float game going.
Dalton with the ball for Auckland. On the arc, looking to drive into the paint, gets the contact going and off the front of the rim again, fighting for the rebound and getting it to fall there. Wiley.
I tell you what, Josh Ledger just laid out Caleb Smiler with that screen too.
Tatapaese, he's been successful from three. That one's an air ball. Time runs out. That's the end of the second quarter action in this NBL Rapid League contest. Is the Tuatara just up 22-20 in Dunedin. Your summation from that first half?
Well, I think in terms of a tale of two sides for a start, in terms of the Auckland Tuatara really attacking the paint, forcing the Otago Nuggets to go into a zone, and then the Otago Nuggets came out shooting the three really well. As you see, Tyson Tatapaese, 15 points. And then on the other side, Josh Ledger has been really good at patrolling the midpoint in that zone.
Otago Nuggets very heavily reliant on Tatapaese for scoring, though, as you would say, you'd have to say, whereas Auckland, sort of the load is spread a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for the Otago Nuggets to win, they're going to have to get contributions from other people. So I'm expecting Caleb Smiler and Toby Hunt in particular to have to step up and have big second halves for this Otago Nuggets side.
Tatapaese with the 15 points to Ioane with a block there as well, and that was probably the highlight of the game so far, the block off the backboard.
I would say so. That boy got up and sent that thing into next week, showcasing his athleticism. But a great first half of Rapid League in terms of shooting display for a start from the Otago Nuggets. But I think the key to this game in the second half is going to be the pace. Who can control the pace? The Auckland Tuatara want to keep it nice and slow. But I tell you what, if I didn't have the opportunity to eat slow, it would not be a large cup pepperoni pizza from Sal's. $35. Scan the QR code.
That was a beautiful transition there, Tom.
Yeah, I've been working. I've been told by Casey Frank that I need to, implement that more into my commentary. But I can't overtake the master. He got a bit sensitive about it on the Giants Tuatara broadcast last week. So I heard that one, Case, and yeah, mate, I'm coming for you.
Favourite pizza?
I would say that one on screen. To be fair,
I'm not a pepperoni fan, eh?
Oh, I'm a big pepperoni guy. I do love me, especially the large cups.
I actually had an on-air argument with Casey Frank about pineapple on pizza.
What are your thoughts?
No, I'm for it. It works. It wouldn't be on the pizza if it wasn't meant to be there.
Yeah.
Got the producer saying, nah, that's wrong. There he is. Auckland Tuatara back underway. Straight away, a bit of contact there. Ioane at the post.
Yeah, and the Otago Nuggets, not quite top blocking, but also quite high up when it comes to that dribble handoff action. And the Tuatara haven't looked too threatening from three, but have been backcutting quite a few times. So if you're the Otago Nuggets, I'm maybe allowing them to come off dribble handoffs, but continue to chase them over rather than get backcut and get to the line like they are right now.
KC, Ioane at the Chemist Warehouse free throw line.
And especially a guy like him back cutting. So if he gets a bit of room, he's not just going to lay that thing up, he's going to throw that down.
Otago Nuggets bringing it back through Caleb Smiler. Nidu, what options have they got here? They've been so successful from three-point range, and that man Tatapaese is the one who's been doing the scoring. This time it's Chisholm. Chisholm off the front of the rim.
And I like that one from the Otago Nuggets because it starts with Caleb Smiler getting into the paint, drawing attention as, wow.
My goodness, that pass almost went in.
Magic. Then flying over the backboard with 6 runs. But, that's one for the Otago Nuggets, for the Auckland Tuatara, sorry, that you cannot afford to have. You're having so much success getting into the paint. So even though you're looking for the early pass, keep going back down where it's working.
From beyond the arc this time for the Nuggets, and they won't fall either. Got really hot in that first quarter, did the Nuggets, and just haven't found their rhythm since. Here's Ledger for the Tuatara. He's been powerful all game. Finds Dalton. Wow, it's crowded in the paint there, and Tatapaese comes up with the steal, and it's been stolen straight back by the Tuatara, and then the Nuggets steal it straight back.
That is pinball out here right now, all going on, and the Otago Nuggets from them here. Exactly that. Try to get downhill.
What a
Caleb
shot!
Smiler.
What on earth did we just watch?
We two-hand scoop, took the bump. I don't even know if he knew where the hoop was, but far out to have the presence of mind to be able to take the hit, lose his footing.
I haven't seen an underarm like that since primary school.
I was about to say, that is the granny shot-esque, but what a finish from Caleb Smiler.
You'll have the chance to add another one as well. This is a tight, good contest that we got so far. Started off very fast scoring, and it's just really tightened up with the physicality. Can't add the extra, so Tuatara will bring things back.
Free throws again, it's really important. If you're going to get to the line and continue to attack them like both these teams are, you have to capitalize at that Chemist Warehouse strike.
Kailahi Aso finds Ioane. Ioane will go to the corner, and Edgar can't get it to fall. Still surveying their options. Auckland, oh, going for the slam almost, and just ends up laying it in. Oh, that was beautiful to watch.
I was about to say, I thought we had a serious highlight on our hands, but again, great patience. Drew the attention from the post, and a great cut there from Ioane, flying through the lane.
Almost a travel there from the Nuggets, and eventually losing his footing there is Smiler, so Tuatara will bring it back through Ledger.
Great job there from Dalton staying in front. Now Josh Ledger getting his point guard hat on. Why not?
Giving him plenty of space at the three-point line. Go on, mate. Here he is again. Oh, he will have a go from three, and can't get it to fall.
In terms of this Rapid League season, they're saying that Josh Ledger has definitely worked on, has hit a couple of threes when he's been left alone because he's had so much success at attacking the paint. Stata Paese, great job there, getting downhill and trying to put the pressure on the rim for the Otago Nuggets.
Ioane, oh my goodness me. You're right, we almost had a highlight for the ages there.
Yeah, the old 2-foot takeoff, flying through. Might be saving it for the NBL.
Tata Paese, he's already got 15 points in this Rapid League contest so far, make that 16.
Yeah, and I think Tata Paese has to continue to attack the hoop. You know, compared to last year for the Manawatu Jets, his scoring output has been down a bit, but he has been playing more of a role in terms of trying to facilitate and move the ball. So turning back the clock a wee bit. So let's see if he can continue this up for the end of this game.
Second free throw bounces out, so back in the position of the Tuatara. Dalton finds Ledger. Ledger in the paint, he'll look outside. Ioane can't get it to fall.
And again, great look at that high-low action. If I'm the Tuatara, I'm continuing to try and go back to that and allow Ledger to operate. But I want to see Josh Ledger attack the hoop and really try to put pressure on that rim.
Tata Paese almost losing his footing there. Did lose his footing. Instead gives the pass away. They'll have a go from the top of the arc and swish.
Great shot there from Smiler, nothing but net. But again, that comes down to the Otago Nuggets getting the ball moving side to side and then getting feet set and shooting good quality threes rather than rushed ones.
Auckland opting for the paint. Dalton draws the foul as well and lays it in nicely.
Yeah, great job there from Matty Dalton. Getting into the paint. Looked like he nearly was about to lose his footing, but kept the balance. Tough we finish with the right hand.
Very tight contest. 28-26 late in the third. Auckland have just sort of had their noses in front the entire time, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes down because they've controlled the pace a wee bit more. It hasn't been as fast-paced as probably the Otago Nuggets would have liked because the Tuatara have been able to get back and solidify their defense. But we see right now, let's see if they can make the most of this.
Smiler driving, can't get it to go.
Yeah, great job there from Smiler. I think the Otago Nuggets, those threes are going to be there all day. They can take them whenever they like. The key is, can you continue to get downhill, put pressure on the Auckland Tuatara, try get back to that free throw line and establish your presence there.
What do you make of the Nuggets patchwork singlets?
Yeah, the wee Scottish heritage. Did my uni days down in Dunners, so...
Oh dear.
Yeah, wow. Well, might be a bit much for the broadcast, but...
I was going to say, worst story you have.
Jeez, we'll save that for off here.
Gap tightens to 2. 12.2 seconds left in the quarter. Can the Tuatara finish by scoring. Ioane draws the contact. Can't go off the board though.
Yeah, and great job there from the Otago Nuggets, seeing Ioane getting downhill and throwing bodies, allowing him to not allowing to make that first move, taking that extra step. Now have another chance, bit of magic maybe.
A heave from down court from Tata Paesi. Did hit the backboard, but won't go. So the Auckland Tuatara with a 2-point lead heading into the final quarter. This thing is on a knife edge.
Yeah, it really is on a knife edge, and it's just waiting for one team to really take the bull by the horns and make the most of this game. So we'll see what happens. If I'm the Otago Nuggets, I'm continuing to try and get downhill for starters, not settling at the three-point line. And for the Otago Nuggets, they're starting to really settle into that zone. So I would like to see Josh Ledger really try and make himself felt in that higher post and then look to continue to attack.
The Auckland Tuatara have taken probably a more conservative approach, as we were talking about, sort of controlling the pace, looking for the contact and looking to get into the paint as much as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is a team that definitely has the size advantage. And then you would have to say with Ioane in the mix as well, probably have the athletic advantage on the Otago Nuggets. So it really is a defense by committee for this Otago Nuggets side. So if I'm them, I'm really trying to pack in that zone. I'm daring the Tuatara. Can you beat us from three?
And don't forget, we got the main South NBL game coming up for you from 7:30. That is a bumper clash as well. Two teams near the top of the table. What's it like playing Racket League and then, you know, getting some minutes off the bench in the main game?
Well, I think a big part of it comes down to your age. Being a 30-year-old and doing it, it started to wear on the bones a wee bit as it went on. But I think it actually is really beneficial for young guys to get their feet a bit wet before they get into that NBL game. Here
we go. Final quarter action, 4 minutes to go, and it's the Nuggets with the first possession. Chisholm driving towards the basket, offloads it to Bazette, and Bazette lays it in off the board, and we're all tied up with Bazette heading to the line. A chance to get into the lead for, well, the first time since the opening minute. Yeah, it has been a while since the Otago Nuggets have been in front, and you see there, again, getting feet into the paint, making the defenders step up. Great wee dump off. Don't forget, every free throw contributes to the Hoops in Schools program. Use that QR code that's just up on your screen as the Auckland Tuatara have a chance to take that lead back after the free throw did not fall. There's Wiley in possession. And a bit of extended pressure too from the Otago Nuggets. It looks like they're saying they've talked about out of the timeout. They want to try and, you know, speed this Auckland Tuatara team up a bit, which I don't mind the strategy because they are having success when they're slowing the ball down, getting into the paint and dissecting that Otago Nuggets defense. So it's good to see them extend that pressure a wee bit. Inbound from Pohio. Wiley, they'll look outside. And it won't fall as well. Oh, coming up with the rebound, though, is Elahi Aso. He gets it back to Wiley. Ledger. Elahi Aso off the board. Won't fall, but coming up with the rebound again is Pohio. Pohio off the backboard. Great finish, and that's one of the dangers of sitting in a zone. It's not always easy to go secure a rebound as you're not quite sure as to who to box out. So in that instance, the Otago Nuggets getting a wee bit guilty of ball watching. Tata Paesi says, stuff it, I'll have a go. Why wouldn't you, given his shooting form? But that one comes off the back of the rim, and here's Ioane driving into the paint, puts it up, draws a foul. Yeah, and great job there from Ioane. Seeing the Otago Nuggets weren't quite back and set on defense, goes in, draws the contact, has a chance to take a breath and try extend this to a two-possession game. Has 6 points so far, 1 rebound, 1 assist for Ioane. Ledger's been really important too for the Tuatara. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. He's been everywhere. Yeah, you know, this is a guy, Josh Ledger. He's been around the league for a while now, and you look at this Auckland Tuatara team, and he's a bit of a vet in this Rapid League squad. So, you know, he's someone that has taken on a leadership role. You know, his game has really matured and developed over time and really taking control, I think, in terms of not only his scoring and his rebounding, but how he speaks to his teammates and how he's uplifting them to try to keep them right up in the mix too. Ioane extends the lead to 3. Opportunity to go up one more with 2:39. Still plenty of time left in this contest.
Yeah, heaps of time left in this contest. So it'll be interesting to see if the strategy changes a wee bit, because you see the Otago Nuggets trying to speed the game up a wee bit, but the Tuatara trying to slow it down and make the most of this size advantage.
Ioane makes the second count. So the Nuggets, after drawing level and having the opportunity to take the lead via the free throw line, now find themselves down 4. Driving up to the rim, not quite getting it to go as Chisholm, but he comes up with the rebound. This time a deep 3, and that one won't go either.
Yeah, I like that look from Toby Hunt. You know, he hasn't got it going so far yet this game, but that's a guy who can shoot the lights out for sure.
Corner 3 attempt from Pohio, and that one lands. Now this lead looking a little bit more commanding for the Tuatara.
Yeah, and that's a massive hit there from the Tuatara. The Nuggets daring them to take 3-pointers, and in that instance, bucket.
The Nuggets will have a go, and they hit straight back. Oh, what a finish we're in for here. The gap tightens back to 4.
And that was deep as well. Good meter outside 3-point line. Look, Josh Ledger right in the eyes. Pa-pow.
Will he have another go? Well, here's Ioane. He'll look to the other side. Pohio again. This time it doesn't fall. Nuggets come up with it. Toby Hunt finds Tata Paese from 3. Off the rim.
And that's one of those ones that may be a wee bit ill-advised, but you know, this is a guy who can definitely make that shot.
Only got 4 players on the court. Does Auckland go from the corner again? And there we have it, another 3.
And an interesting thing, and this is why, in terms of starting Miller, Jose, and Bardsley in the main game, if someone does go down with an injury or does foul out of a game, it's big turnover. You're now left with 4 players at a dire moment of the game.
7 the difference.
I can't wait to see this Otago Nuggets defense surely sitting in a 2-2 type zone.
Makes things very difficult and just opens things up a bit for the Tuatara, who now with this lead don't have to do anything fancy. Here's Ioane having a go under no pressure. Won't fall though, and the Nuggets should get the ball back.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones for the Tuatara. If you've already got the advantage in terms of 4 players, maybe try and get the ball moving a wee bit, force the Nuggets to guard the ball. You can get that 3 whenever you want.
Josh Wiley with the inbound ball. Here he is. Hasn't got any points so far in this contest. And the Tuatara won't mind this, just slowing things down.
And again, it's the fouls. Looking to attack, trying to get into the paint, and then all of a sudden getting back to the free throw line. Like you say, Nathan, slowing the game down, getting those easy buckets, and putting pressure. Now, I'm interested to see how the Tuatara guard this Otago Nuggets team with 4 players.
Don't forget, we've got the Hoops and Schools program going. Every made free throw contributes to some basketball equipment for schools around New Zealand, as Wiley gets both of them to 4. Getting into do or die territory here for the Nuggets. They need points, and oh, denied!
Great defense there. Just able to take the contact, and then now playing for points differential.
Auckland from beyond the arc. We'll have another go, almost plays out of bounds.
Looks like the Tuatara going to take that BNZ player timeout. As we see again here on the replay, takes the contact, and another great block.
Ioane says, get out of my face. Auckland with a 9-point lead. 24 seconds remaining in this quarter. And the Otago Nuggets down to 4. Come up with the rebound. Chisholm.
Looks like we've got another BNZ player timeout in terms of the Otago Nuggets. But this is the thing, in terms of points differential, even though we can say this game is more than likely put to bed, as you see right there, scan the QR code for a chance to win tickets to this season's games. But even though this game has probably been put to bed, points differential is so important. And the fact that these points count for the NBL game, you're trying to tick up as many points as possible, whether you're up or whether you're down. So the Otago Nuggets trying to get a bucket here.
Yeah, it gives real relevance to these rapid league contests. Here's Chisholm for a corner three. Draws the contact and helped to his feet by Dalton.
Yeah, and that's one of those things, you know, even though this game, again, like we talked about, more than likely gone, try to get a contest, try not to let them even get a wee sniff of getting close. But here we go, Bazette, chance to bring this game within 6.
Chisholm makes the first one count. Just 12.6 seconds remaining, but again, points difference does make a difference to the overall table. So there is a big difference between losing by 1 and losing by 10.
Oh, and I can speak from experience. We even snuck in through points differential 2 seasons, actually, in terms of the playoffs, and that was because of our rapid league success. So definitely a lot still to play for in these dying seconds.
Here we go. Potentially a last possession here, depending on how they use the ball here. The Tuatara up 6. They're going to close this out. Is Dalton going to have a go? No, we'll give it to Wiley from beyond the arc. Unmarked and slots it as well with half a second left on the clock. That'll do us for the rapid league contest. It's the Auckland Tuatara getting up over the Otago Nuggets, 44 points to 35. And, well, pretty commanding win in the end for the Tuatara.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Otago Nuggets were there or thereabouts, but ultimately I just think the Auckland Tuatara had a better handle on the game overall. And I think probably the big thing you see there in terms of the Chemist Warehouse stats, that scoring spread. There were multiple contributions throughout. You see Pohio there up to 12 points and then 8 rebounds as well. Man, he just came out of nowhere in terms of his contribution.
Yeah, coming off the bench as well, made a real impact, both from obviously at the board with the rebounds, but also made a corner 3 as well.
Yeah, a couple of those big threes were really timely. You see right there, Josh Ledger did a really good job at controlling the tempo, I think, for this Auckland Tuatara side. So with a couple of big Ioane blocks there to put the cherry on the top.
100% would be the highlight of the game for me. That those blocks we were seeing from KC Ioane gets you into it.
Yeah, absolutely. That one off the backboard, man, that was resounding.
There you have it. Auckland up over Otago, 44-35 in this round 6 rapid league contest. Don't forget, we've got the full sales NBL contest coming out from 7:30, so stick with us on Sky Sport.
All good?
Yeah, I mean, any role's a good role on this team, man.
As impactful as you have been. Off the bench this season.
And look at me.
You've been asked to play a slightly different role off the bench. You've been asked to play a slightly different role off the bench this season. What has been your best opinion?
And you know, there's a lot of ref calls and a good chance.
Sweet, thank you. You've been asked
Ourselves play our game, and I think if we can do that, then we give ourselves a good chance.
Sweet, thank you.
Okay, if we're all
Yeah.
and go for it.
You and the Nuggets are back on your home court after back-to-back road losses. You and the Nuggets are back on your home court after back-to-back. You and the Nuggets are back on your home court after back-to-back road losses.
And we should be in a good place.
Sweet, thank you.
Cool.
Sweet, thank you.
Cool.
24, all the way from Seattle, United States of America, Big Mikey Henning. All the way from Nebraska, USA, number 5, Boyd Taj, BT. And our starting lineup from the Big 5 Melbourne, Big V Melbourne, number 18, Zach McKenzie. From Wellington, number 8, Isaac Liver Jones. And from Montreal, Canada, number 13, Alain Lili. And there he is, our legend, Michigan Tall Black Breakers, number 12, Ethan Rosbach, captain.
Yes.
And finally, our hometown,
The contrast, contrast in style.
number 7, Matthew Knowsley.
In terms of like, I think in terms of Nuggets, defenses up and just being able to try, they'll want to try junk and slow down the Tuatara a wee bit, whereas the Tuatara will kind of want to get out a wee bit. Not so much with Rob and Johnson, but I just think they've got more scoring threats.
Right.
So the Nuggets will have to do it will have to defend by committee, whereas the Tuatara, like they've got guys who, they've got threats everywhere, like even like Dylan Wolfe.
So basically the reverse of the Rapid League.
Yeah, honestly,
Okay.
which was the buzzy thing, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
All right. Kia ora, good evening. Welcome into live coverage of the Sal's NBL. Tonight it is the Auckland Tuatara visiting the Otago Nuggets at Edgar Centre in Dunedin. Sal's NBL round 6 and a bumper clash for you. The third place Auckland Tuatara up against the fifth placed Otago Nuggets. My name is Nathan Lim. Alongside me, former Nelson Giant, Tom Ingham. Tom, welcome to the broadcast. What kind of a contest are we expecting tonight between these two sides?
Yeah, cheers, Nathan. I think a bounce-back game for both teams, both coming off losses. The Nuggets in the midst of a two-game slide after their epic start to the season. So in terms of what I'm expecting, both teams to come out aggressive, confident, and try to get back in the win column.
Yeah, the Nuggets coming off losses to the Hawks and the Rams. The Auckland Tuatara fell, and a surprise result to the Southland Sharks last game as well. Don't forget you can have your shout. Use the QR code on the screen to let us know who you think will take the chocolates tonight. The Otago Nuggets 54%, Tuatara 46% at this stage. Is that a fair representation, Nuggets with the home ground?
Yeah, well, I mean, you always got to look after the home team, right, in terms of those voters. But I think the Auckland Tuatara will definitely have something to say about that. I think in terms of how well-rounded this team is, they are dangerous.
Yeah, a few minutes away from tip-off. Let's take a look at the standings. The Canterbury Rams sitting pretty at the top of the ladder. 5 wins, 1 loss. And then Tuatara down there in third. Otago Nuggets in fifth. So both teams have had pretty good starts to the year overall.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew this Auckland Tuatara team was going to come out with pace, but the Otago Nuggets definitely surprised a lot of teams in terms of their start. And, you know, although the last 2 games haven't gone to plan, you know, this is a team that has shown they are very connected in terms of their schemes, and will be looking to give this Tuatara team a fright tonight.
A little further down the table, the Airs, the Giants, the Jets, Tauranga fight. The Hawke's Bay Hawks finally getting their first victory as well.
Yeah, against this Otago Nuggets side, now with a full contingent. So, you know, I'm expecting that Hawke's Bay Hawks team to start to look to climb up the ladder a wee bit, because they have some firepower there too.
Still plenty of action to come over the next few days. If we bring up the fixtures upcoming on Sunday, double header, Rams and the Sharks in Christchurch, and then the Giants and the Hawks in Nelson. And on Thursday and Friday next week, you've got the Sharks and the Saints and the Jets and the Rams. Which of these fixtures is the headline for you?
Well, I'm always biased, Nathan, so I'm always looking at where the Giants are playing, and against former Nelson Giant Dan Greeder for the Hawke's Bay Hawks. So, you know, he'll be looking to go out and put a bit of payback on the Giants, that's for sure.
100%. Let's take a look at the two teams that we got for you tonight. First up, the starting five for the Tuatara: Dilling, Johnson, Wilkie, Riley, and Big Rob Lowe at centre. Who are the main scoring threats here for the Tuatara? Because they got a lot of them.
Well, they do. You look at that lineup, and Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson previously have been the big players, but the guy who I've been really impressed with is Zach Riley. 21 points per game, shooting free throws nearly 90%, and the three-pointer at 40%. So that man is on right now.
And don't forget, they've got the likes of Tom Vodanovic. What a luxury to have him coming off the bench as well. We caught up with Tom a few moments ago.
You've been asked to play a slightly different role off the bench this season. What has been your best approach to remain as impactful as you have been?
Yeah, I mean, any role is a good role on this team, man. You know, we've got some awesome bigs, some of the best bigs in the league. So coming off the bench behind those two guys, man, is yeah, it's a blessing for our team. But I think for me, man, I'm just trying to impact the game where I can, be a leader on the bench and on the court, and yeah, it seems to be working.
You and the Tuatara have come off a tough loss in Southland. What areas are you and the team looking to lift as a team looks to avoid a second straight loss?
Yeah, it's just focusing on us, I think. We went down there and, you know, there's a lot of ref calls and stuff that we were put too much time and effort into. We just got to lock in on ourselves, play our game. And I think if we can do that, then we give ourselves a good chance.
Sweet, thank you.
Great to hear from Tom Vodanovic there, averaging 16.3 points per game so far this season. And we'll take a look at the Otago Nuggets lineup, printing of power here too for the Nuggets. We've got, hopefully, it coming up on the screen just in a sec. There we go. Russ Batch, Bardsley, Milajos, Louis and McKenzie. Main threats here for the Nuggets?
Yeah, well, Ethan Rusbatch is a guy that has been dominating this league for a long time in terms of his outside shot. But what I'm quite interested in is the Otago Nuggets bringing two imports off the bench, and Matty Bardsley and Milajos getting the look into the starting lineup for this one tonight.
Yeah, Isaac Milajos will have a big role to play tonight. We caught up with him a little while ago.
You and the Nuggets are back on your home court after back-to-back road losses where the offense wasn't quite up to snuff. What are the keys to lifting productions in the offense today and look to get back on the winning side of the ledger?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're a team that focuses primarily on defense, and the offense just generates from there. So if we can speed teams up and find things in their defense that are cracking just because they're rushed, then we can get easy buckets, easy layups, and, you know, when other shots aren't falling for us, we can get, you know, the easy ones.
The Tuatara pose a unique challenge with their mix of size and skill, but are similarly looking to bounce back after a loss. What are the keys for Otago to keep the Tuatara from finding their best form today?
Well, it's kind of what I said in the first question, that our speed and our defense and our pressure are things that bring the worst qualities out of the other team and the best qualities out of us. So if we can keep to what we're good at and limit what they're good at, then we should be in a good place.
So thank you.
Well, he said it there, Isaac Milajos. They focus on defense. The Otago Nuggets defensively very strong, but they've averaged only 77 points across the last two games, perhaps struggled a little bit offensively. We take a look at the stats here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Milajos put the nail on the head there. This Otago Nuggets team, they're there to defend, and it's what they do. They change up their defenses a lot, which helps, I guess, the opposition. It makes them a lot more clunky, whereas this Auckland Tuatara team, however, they are dynamic down the offensive end with so many different scorers, and you see right there Tom Vodanovic coming off the bench. You know, this man has been a stud in this league for a long time, so what a luxury to have.
What do you think these stats as well say about the kind of style of basketball that we're going to see from these teams in this game?
Yeah, well, I think in terms of the Otago Nuggets, they talked about in terms of the pace they want to play at, but I think they want to try slow the Auckland Tuatara down, not allow the ball to move as freely as they probably want it to, and then try get some contested shots at the end. So I can see the pace maybe slowing down if it plays into the Nuggets' favour a wee bit, but then the Auckland Tuatara, they've got the depth to be able to speed that thing up.
Just a few minutes away from tip-off here on Sky Sport. The Auckland Tuatara winning the last 3 contests but against the Nuggets. So do you think it's fair to say they've got the wood over them?
Yeah, I would say so in terms of how we look at this for a start. As we see the officials there, Mikey Graham, Sam Pan and Leo Shaw. But I think so in terms of what we would expect pre-game. However, this Otago Nuggets team, we've seen them come up against some giants in this league so far and knock them off. So, you know, they definitely won't be taking a backward step, but it is going to be a challenge for them tonight.
100%. You looked at sort of key players, boy, Tuak as well, playing against his former side. He's been one of the best scorers so far for the Nuggets. He's sure to have a big role tonight against his former side.
Yeah, absolutely. And surprised at the move to bring him off the bench, but it might be something the Nuggets to look at doing in terms of having that second wind and allowing their 2 imports to come in and try and make an impact into this game and try combat this deep Tuatara bench.
Nuggets definitely winning out on this QR code vote of who will win tonight. The home side playing at Edgar Centre. What's it like playing at Edgar Centre?
Yeah, can speak. Had a few seasons with the Otago Nuggets under my belt, and the word that comes to mind is cold. Is the big one, and trying to get the bones moving, get warmed up, but once you start to get going, it's great. I love Dunedin. It's a beautiful place.
It'll be Chris Johnson to compete for the ball at tip-off for Auckland, and Zach McKenzie for the Nuggets as we get underway in Saturday night basketball, the South NBL, and it is the Tuatara who come up with it first. And they'll get a shot away straight away. What a nice start from the Tuatara.
And that's a great sign there from the Tuatara. If Rob Lowe's got it going early doors, and that's a really tough cover when you've got Zach Riley coming downhill. It's a lesser of 2 evils in that instance.
Now it's the Nuggets and Louis driving into the paint, looking from beyond the arc, and back into the paint goes Russ Batch. Can't get it to fall though, and Auckland come up with the rebound.
And it's what the Tuatara have is length. With Johnson and Rob Lowe in the middle, they can really spread wide and show lots of length within that paint.
Oh, ball stripped away from Josh Dilling there, but he goes back and is able to retrieve it. Just inside the arc, surveys his options, and eventually is going to put up an uncontested 2 and makes it count.
Yeah, and it's one guy we didn't talk about in the broadcast either is Josh Dilling. That man is a problem in this league and showed really good signs against the Nelson Giants, looked dominant, so he'll be one to watch tonight.
Here's Louis distributing to McKenzie, and McKenzie doesn't have the radar going there. Almost coming up with it though, the Nuggets, but Auckland do manage to control the rebound.
Yeah, I think that's what the Nuggets need to do is keep continuing to try and put pressure on their offense. Wow.
My goodness me, Zach Riley hit the court hard there. We hope he's okay. Nuggets have possession, but he's still not recovered there. He comes into shot now. He's back on his feet. Good to see him running around there. And it cops some more contact. Boy, he's in the wars early.
My goodness, Zach Riley, get that man for an HIA. My goodness.
He's gonna carry on too, but he was suspended in midair and then hit the court hard at the other end. Eventually made it back to his feet and tracks the foul.
What a trooper, up and going again. But you know, when you're a 21 point per game scorer, this Tuatara team needs him, so great to see him still trooping along.
Here's Lowe offloading to Wilkie, and bit of contact there.
And you see right now the Otago Nuggets trying to pack in the paint a wee bit. They know Zach Riley's been effective at getting downhill, but then you've got Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson there as well, so really trying to pack it in.
Inbound ball, it's just sort of controlled by Lowe, and he's looking for his options. Eventually he'll put up a shot himself, and all the offensive board as well, 2 for the Tuatara.
And it's when you start to get a bit mismatched like that, easy offensive rebounds can happen.
Dilling in the paint, spinning. And lays it in nicely.
Yeah, and great composure there from Dilling, able to get to 2 feet, use a couple of up fakes, and is really strong on that left hand.
Otago yet to score. Tuatara suddenly out to a 7-0 lead, and here's Louis trying to take control, up and under and in. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's really nice there from Louis, and he's so effective at getting downhill, in particular off on-ball screens. You see there, able to slice and dice, and the Nuggets into a 1-3-1 zone, but you cannot let Rob Lowe alone at the back.
Keep that 7-point margin to the Tuatara. There's Louis, bring it back up, and all the nice little deflection there. But can't retrieve it, can Wilkie. Otago still in possession.
Great move there from Bardsley, not able to get the finish, but great to see Bards back on the court after a bit of a layoff with injury, so a welcome sight for this Otago Nuggets team.
Zach Riley trying to give the pass away to Lowe, who eventually retrieves it. Rob Lowe, so important for this Auckland team. 14.4 points per game, 8.6 rebounds and 5 assists. He's everywhere.
And ever young too. You know, this man's done it for such a long time, so you know, he's such an asset for this Auckland Tuatara side.
Inbound ball from Dilling, and he'll get the ball back as well. Rob Lowe with a nice screen and just opens up the 3 opportunity there for Dilling, makes it count.
And it looks like we've got a timeout already as this Auckland Tuatara team, it's like we talked about before the broadcast, Nathan, this team has just come off a loss. So, you know, they're going to want to come back, bounce back, and try establish themselves at the top of the table, because this is a top of the table side.
And a really explosive start too from the Tuatara. We're already out to a 10-point lead, scoring 12, and they've held the Nuggets to just 2.
Yeah, and that's not a promising sight at all. But what is a promising sight is that large cup pepperoni pizza, $35. Scan the QR code, sales dish 26, your online code. But yeah, 2 points. I mean, we talked about this Otago Nuggets team. They do rely on defense. However, with that 1-3-1 zone, the Tuatara are really picking that apart. So I'm expecting the Nuggets to have a bit of a conversation about that and change up that defense.
That defense has been such a strength for them this year. I'm sure they wouldn't be happy with that start.
No, absolutely not. But, you know, it's one thing, and like we talked about, we see the imports. We see Tuach now into the game. You know, an interesting move to bring Bardsley and Miller-Jose into that starting lineup. But let's see if Tuach can make an impact against his former team.
100%. He's been dynamic so far this season. 20.5 points per game for boy Tuach. Inbound ball from the Nuggets. It's with Louis. What can they conjure up here?
Yeah, I would like to see Louis try to get downhill again, but I think the big one you got to get involved in the game is this guy right here.
He's going to get involved straight away, and I probably would like that one again. Tuach. The Tuatara with an opportunity to extend their double-digit lead. Can't do so, but drawing the foul there nicely.
And you see the Nuggets came out in that instance, went away from that 1-3-1 zone, went into that 3-2 zone, and straight away Chris Johnson getting Zach McKenzie. You know, McKenzie fighting hard and not allowing Johnson to get right into the paint, but unfortunately just gave up the foul on that shot contest.
Johnson from the Chemist Warehouse free throw line. That one just spills out.
You know, Chris Johnson, this is a guy with a seriously storied career. He's been around everywhere, including a stint with the Portland Trail Blazers. So, you know, this guy is a genuine hooper.
Can't make the free throws count that time, Chris Johnson, but the Tuatara still nursing it. 10-point lead. The Otago Nuggets really need to get going. And here's the man that could create something. Tuach won't do it this time. There's Tatapaese up to the rim. Oh, beautifully laid in.
And I love that from Tatapaese. You know, he's a guy that if he comes off the bench, especially when offense hasn't really been going for the Otago Nuggets, he needs to be aggressive. Had a great Rapid League game, so good to see him contribute in the NBL too.
Slotted his first 3 3-point attempts in that opening quarter in the Rapid League contest. He was hot early.
Yeah, effortlessly too. He was letting that thing fly and then showed his willingness to engage and get to the cup. So showing that he can score at all 3 levels. So he needs to continue to do that for this Nuggets team in the NBL game.
Barking orders there. Jeff Sparrow won't be happy with this start as Auckland get up into the paint. Can't get it to fall off the board.
Yeah, and Rob Lowe had Tata Paese sealed there too, so Dilling missed him on that instance, but a great look there from Tuach.
Oh yeah, pulls up. Makes it look easy. Why do you think they've opted to bring him off the bench?
Yeah, look, always we see right there, Miller Jose able to get in front. Rob Lowe doesn't like that one. But in terms of why they've opted to bring both the imports off the bench, I don't know. Like maybe you don't know if something has potentially gone on in camp. You don't know if maybe they're trying to have a bit more of an impact, because I think right now, in terms of the starting five for the Nuggets has been great. But as we know, this Tuatara bench is deep too, so maybe they're just trying to keep up with that. So we'll see if it's maybe just a one-off thing.
Here is Tuach. Been lethal from mid-range. Tata Paese, who likes his chances from beyond the arc. That one just comes off the front of the rim.
Yeah, the Tuatara are doing a great job right now, keeping the Otago Nuggets out of the paint and forcing contested threes.
Oh yeah, up to the post. There goes Zach Riley.
Yeah, and Zach Riley has been incredible all season long. I remember his first start for the Auckland Huskies back then in 2021, and man, he was effective still in school then, so great to see him take his game to another level.
Tuach really trying to take control of this Nuggets offense. This time the ball gets deflected away and it's back in the hands of Riley. Floats the ball over the top to Lowe, and Lowe can't quite lay it in off the backboard. Won't be happy with that one.
Yeah, it looked like one of the goaltend in that instance, but Bardsley able to do just enough to force that off Lowe.
After Paese finds Bardsley. Bardsley will go to the rim and get some heavy contact there as well from Vodanovic.
Yeah, Matty Bardsley does such a good job, so evasive, and has a deceptively quick first step as an incredible cutter also. So, you know, he's a guy that I think if the Auckland Tuatara are going to try pack in the paint, he can be a really good guy that slashes into that high post, looks to attack off that, because he's really effective in that area.
Trying to rein in this lead, got out to a 12-2 start. Did the Tuatara Nuggets struggling to fire the attack early, and they've made a few changes. Tata Paese and Tuach, two of their biggest attacking weapons on the court. They've slimmed the gap to 6 in a full court press here on the Tuatara.
Yeah, and I like that in terms of from the Otago Nuggets. Change it up a wee bit, you know. This is a big Auckland Tuatara side, and even if they do get into that zone, they have a lot of options. So I think trying to speed the game up and try to force the Auckland Tuatara to get into that fast-paced ball could help them.
Ledger as well coming on the court. He was dynamic in that rapid league contest as well.
Yeah, he really was. You know, he took a massive leadership role and really controlled things even from that big position. So, you know, he's a guy that's been around the league for a long time now. So, you know, it's good to see him in this game early and looking to make contributions for this Auckland Tuatara side.
They've really slowed the pace of the Tuatara attack after that really hot start. Just 2 points in the last few minutes, or since the last stoppage for the Tuatara. What have they been able to adjust the Nuggets?
Well, I think trying to extend that pressure a wee bit, and they've changed up their zone a wee bit too. They started in that 1-3-1 zone, which was the Tuatara picked apart in terms of being able to get that low man operating around. But I think if you're the Otago Nuggets, keep changing defense up, but I like that full court press because they are a big side, and if you can get the likes of Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson having to run up and down constantly and wear them down, that's a couple of weapons you're taking out of the game.
Auckland Tuatara leading the Otago Nuggets 14-8. 4 minutes, 13 seconds to go in this opening quarter. It'll be the inbound ball from Wiley to restart things.
Yeah, and Cam Glidden going into his bench early, which is, you know, great to see, and especially when you're on the second night, is a turnover there. But I like what Cam Glidden's doing in terms of second night of a back-to-back. You know, get your starters out of the game early, give them a chance to rest, recoup, give those young guys an opportunity to make their contributions and save the likes of Rob Lowe for the end of the game.
Just got so much depth, don't they, Auckland? Gives them real freedom with his roster, Cam Glidden.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, you bring the likes of Tom Vodanovic off the bench, MVP at the 2020 showdown. So what a luxury to have, as you see right there, Louis getting straight back to business.
And he's hyped up too.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be, right? I mean, it's been a great start from this Auckland Tuatara side. So, you know, if you're an import that's coming in, you need to make sure that you're trying to get the lads up, get them fired up, and try get back into this game.
What do the imports do for the culture of the team? You got someone coming in from the States or anywhere. What does that do to just mix things up?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's a tough task in terms of a coach trying to bring in, I think, the right imports, because culturally it can be a big shock, I think, for Americans coming into New Zealand and trying to get immersed. So a big part of it is around character. And if you have a high character import, it can make all the difference. So I think hard to get the right ones, but it seems like we've got a good pick of imports in the league this year.
Otago persevering with the full court press as well, and Tom Vodanovic having to make decisions in his own half. Dilling. Ledger just had to reach for that pass. Not afraid of contact in the paint as Ledger tried to get it to go off the board and doesn't fall.
Yeah, love that attack from Ledger, but I also love this from the Otago Nuggets. You know, really trying to make this a dogfight, because that's something they're going to have to do with the amount of weapons this Auckland Tuatara side has.
Michael Hen gives the ball back to Tua. Tua from beyond the arc, and oh, that looked easy.
Yeah, that's a great shot there from Tuach. Had the defender in terms of Josh Ledger giving a pretty high show on that one, so great hit.
They've tightened this gap right up. It was 12-2 in favour of the Tuatara. Ioane has a go from three, but a foul's been called.
Yeah, and great to see Vodanovic there. You know, he fights incredibly hard for position. You know, he's a guy you have to do your work early, because he is one strong human being, and he will bury you right down in that paint.
Auckland will look to keep the pace of the game up, keep the scoring flowing. It's just been slowed a wee bit, and it's defence like that from Miller Jose that's going to keep Otago in this.
Yeah, Miller Jose does an incredibly job of moving his feet as Tuach feeling good about himself. But Miller Jose does a great job at moving his defence, and which will be great for this Otago Nuggets team if they do decide to start switching on ball screens.
Riley with the ball to Vodanovic. Riley in the paint, and that one just coming up short, and Miller Jose with the rebound.
Yeah, and a good look there from Riley. I love it when he is attacking the paint like he is. As Tuach, everything but the finish.
Boy, it looked pretty. You just wanted to see that ball drop in.
Yeah, and he's a massive focal point for this Otago Nuggets offense. And, you know, offense hasn't been always easy for this Nuggets side, so he's a guy that's going to have to get going tonight.
Corner three opportunity for Ioane. Won't go.
A great box out there from Hen. You know, Vodanovic is a hard guy to keep off the board, so good job from Hen.
Here's Louis, number 13 jumper. Oh, just picked off there by Ledger. And Ledger all the way to the rim, but he can't get it to fall either. Both these teams just struggling to finish at the rim a little bit.
Yeah, it is, and I love that from Josh Ledger. You know, backing himself to go all the way to the cup, just not quite with the left hand on that instance.
Louis back with the ball. Offloads it to Miller Jose. Wasn't able to get the attempt away the first time, but lays it in off the board, and we're all tied up.
And just like that, as we know, this game ebbs and flows, and especially for this Tuatara team coming off the second night of a back-to-back, isn't always that no lead is necessarily safe. You've got to make sure you just keep continuing to stick with it, try to stick around in this game.
Riley quite aggressively driving to the rim there, and draws the contact as well, but this was lovely here from Miller Jose and Louis.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, Ledger made the right call in terms of sending the double with Louis looking a wee bit mismatched, but whether they wanted to send the double in that instance because the rotation wasn't quite there, allowed Miller Jose to get that easy look.
The Nuggets with no more fouls to give. Riley makes the first one count.
And man, has bounced back after that head knock and then taking the charge afterwards. So, you know, this is a guy that's not afraid to put his body on the line. Great to see him still out there doing it.
Auckland Tuatara, well, after a hot start, zoomed out to a 12-2 lead. After just a few minutes, they've only been able to add 4 since. And the Otago Nuggets really coming back into it. The changes that they've made definitely making a difference. And part of that is this bloke here, Tuatara, and draws the foul as well.
Yeah, and a great move there from Tuatara, and it was one of those ones he's hit a three, and so what happens when he's hit a three? The closeout starts to change, and Tuatara able to capitalize off that high closeout, goes straight at Chris Johnson, able to draw the foul.
Heads to the Chemist Warehouse free throw line.
And this is one thing too for this Otago Nuggets team. Currently the worst free throw shooting team in the league, and this is something they're going to have to clean up because they do a good job at getting to the free throw line, so they need to capitalize.
He misses both of them just coming up short from Tuatara. What the Tuatara do is Vodanovic. Dilling looks for Vodanovic again, and Vodanovic will put it up and floats it in nicely.
Yeah, and that's a tough task for Ethan Rusbatch. Vodanovic does such a good job at getting that body position. Dilling has the awareness to throw that high ball over. Double doesn't come. Great finish.
18 seconds to go in the first quarter of the South NBL fixture. Both sides coming off losses, but both with fairly good starts to the season. Here's Louis. Finds Tuatara. Louis from beyond the arc. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Big time hit from Louis. Often known at getting to the cup, but able to hit the three in that instance. Oh!
That was almost a season highlight.
Wow.
There you have it. The first quarter concluded, and it is the Auckland Tuatara with a very slim 18-17 lead out of the first quarter. We'll head to a break, and we'll see you very shortly for quarter two.
Steal a Sal's pizza slice voucher and then return for another shot until all vouchers are stolen. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
You're tuned into live coverage of the Auckland Tuatara visiting the Otago Nuggets in Dunedin. It's the Tuatara with a slim 18-17 lead after a hot start in quarter one, but the Nuggets really pulling things back. My name's Nathan Lim. Alongside me is former Nelson Giant Tom Ingham. Tom, who's happier? Which camp is happier at this point in the game?
Yeah, I think the Otago Nuggets, to tell you the truth, after that the second half of that first quarter, because the Tuatara came out piping hot, but the Nuggets able to bring the physicality and start to junk it up a wee bit.
Yeah, that defence that's been so strong this season really coming to the fore, and they've made some good changes off the bench and driving to the basket. Not quite going. The Tuatara are going to come up with it. That was Ethan Rusbatch.
Yeah, and doing a good job there, Tuatara, understanding Ethan Rusbatch is a massive threat from the outside, so chasing him off the three-point line and getting a great contest at the rim.
Vodanovic, not afraid of contact, is he? The big man off the backboard and in.
Yeah, and a great job there from Vodanovic, going to his good mate Ethan Rusbatch. Seen yesterday playing some golf, so bit of festivities off the field and then starting to get into it on the court.
Smiler, what can he conjure up? Here's Tata Paese from deep. Can't make it count.
Yeah, and not a bad look there from Tatapaese. You know, he's a guy that's been having it going recently, so a good look, but Tuatara able to settle the ball down.
Here's Johnson back to Riley. Oh, batted away there by the Nuggets, and they'll come up with it, and a chance potentially to level. There's Tuarch, who will have a go, and probably want that one again.
Yeah, and that's one, you know, I'd like to see Tuarch continue to attack the cup. He's very elusive, and his first step is impressive, so I'd like to see him continue to get to the cup.
Here's Dilling, got 7 points so far in the contest. Here's Riley from deep. Oh, yeah, that looked nice.
Yeah, and Zach Riley has been lights out to start this season, shooting the three around 40%, so continuing on that confidence in this game too.
Tuarch. Always seems to feature an through the legs there of Smiler. Just didn't pick up the pass.
Yeah, it was the right look, wasn't it? But just not able to get a hand on the ball in that instance. But love that in terms of trying to get into the paint and try to dissect this Auckland Tuatara defense a wee bit.
Up by 6, the Tuatara. They did lead by as many as 10 early in the first quarter, up 12-2 early on. From deep, won't go, but Johnson comes up with the rebound, and the long limbs of Chris Johnson lays it in off the board.
And it's going to be a hard task for Caleb Smiler to try and get a rebound over Chris Johnson, a severe size disadvantage. So he's going to have to do his work early.
Tatapaese from the free throw line, can't go. He's just scored one of his field goal attempts.
Yeah, but good to see him being aggressive, and I think he needs to continue to do that off this Otago Nuggets bench.
Dilling looking at his options. Wilkie has a look over the top. Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson. Oh, behind the back slam.
Effortlessly too, and you know, that's the danger when you've got two near 7-footers just patrolling that paint.
Timeout, and Auckland have extended that lead back out to 10.
Just like that too, you see there the double. You know, it's a hard task there. If you're Tatapaese too, it's a lesser of two evils. Do you have Chris Johnson try to help down, or do you have Zach Riley shooting the three ball at 40%? So, you know, a tough task to stop this Tuatara offense.
Massive size advantage too, when you've got both Johnson and Lowe, and you'll have a massive size advantage over your mates ordering pizza from anywhere else. If you get these large cup pepperoni pizza, $35 from Sal's. Use the QR code on the screen.
Yes, sir. Great transition there too. Love it. But yeah, in terms of the size advantage is severe. You know, it's saying this Otago Nuggets team, you know, it's going to be tough to stop. But I think that you've got to continue to try and pack the paint. Zach Riley is the big threat from the outside. You do need to watch Dilling as well. But the other one who we haven't talked about yet, who is an absolute flamethrower from the outside, is Dylan Wilkie. So he's a guy that, you know, if he gets going as well, for this Otago Nuggets team, you've got the presence inside with Vodanovic, Johnson, and Lowe, and then you've got some serious three-point shooting on the outside too. So, man, it's a tough task.
Going to the paint, being very successful so far just in the last few minutes for Auckland. So you'd imagine with that size advantage, that's what they'll look to continue doing. Here's Louis driving into the paint. Can't get it to Ko. Draws the foul.
Yeah, no, that's a great job there from Louis, and Johnson probably can afford to stay down on that one. You know, his terms of straight length, just being able to get a contest, because I think the longer you can have Johnson Lowe in the game, really impacting those shots and then also dominating down the offensive end too, it's going to make it a tough night for the Otago Nuggets.
Louis gets his 7th point of the night.
You know, and Louis is someone that, you know, we don't talk about heaps, but he's a guy that really helps keep this Otago Nuggets offense flowing and really does a good job at getting into the paint as well.
Tuark coming up with a nice rebound too, and they'll have another go to add to this total. The Nuggets, oh, beautiful from Miller Jost.
Oh, great shot there. Might have been Mike Hen on that one, but as well, oh, I thought we had a steal there from Miller Jost. But again, it's what this Otago Nuggets team, if they start hitting threes, they're the worst three-point shooting team in the league. But if they get it going, man, could open up another weapon.
Corner three opportunity here from Wilkie. Won't fall, and Louis comes up.
Yeah, and a great look there from the Auckland Tuatara. You're happy with Dylan Wilkie shooting that one any day of the week. Doesn't get it to go, but again, great look.
6-point lead here for the Tuatara. Otago Nuggets looking to draw things back. They've been defensively so strong all season. Just looking for a bit of rhythm on offense. Here's Tuach. Floats it up off the backboard, but they come up with the offensive rebound. Here's Hen into the paint. Oh yeah, nice.
Well, I tell you what, Hen coming off the bench has been a bit of a godsend for the Otago Nuggets in terms of hitting that three for a start and then getting the wee fadeaway in that instance, just giving them an extra weapon, because Miller Jose has done a good job so far at trying to be a presence on defense for this Otago Nuggets side.
Here is Johnson, so threatening, and that will be from beyond the arc, and he'll slot it as well.
I tell you what, if Chris Johnson's hitting shots like that, he is very close to unguardable, because, man, he's got the range. You cannot block a shot just because of how high he releases it. Great hit.
Tell you what, his foot was just over the line. They haven't given him 3 for it, so a very deep 2.
The deepest of 2s, but straight away there, it looks like Louis getting straight back to the cup. So we see right there, man, Hen doing all the hard work, and, man, just better offense.
Yeah, Johnson just with that foot just over the line.
That's a killer.
Probably felt like he earned 3 there. I think he did.
Yeah, I think he definitely did. But, you know, it's one of those things. Can speak from experience. There's nothing worse. You think you've hit a 3, run back to see the ref holding up 2. Man, the pit.
Spoke about the free throws and how the Otago Nuggets have struggled from the Chemist Warehouse free throw line so far this season.
Yeah, they really have. And, I mean, they've left a lot of points on the table. And you need that, especially if you're known for your defense. If you're getting those easy ones, you need to be able to capitalize on them.
Low, working his way into the second. Oh, I thought we were going to see a slam there. Picks up a lot of contact. Ball comes off, but he'll pick up the foul.
Yeah, I love that from Matty Bardsley, trying to get out and make life really difficult for Rob Lowe, but the wily veteran able to take the bump in that instance. See Bardsley working his tail off, but ultimately just a wee bit too big there.
What does it do for your team having a guy like Rob Lowe in there who's seen and done just about everything? So we see the Hoops in School program with every made free throw contributing to getting some basketball equipment for schools up and down the country. But yeah, a guy like Rob Lowe, what does that do for your team culture?
I mean, it's a calming presence, but I think the big thing in terms of, I've never played with Rob, but from all accounts, just an incredible human being. And I think that's the big thing, not only of his resume and what he's achieved on the court, but just having a good human being as your leader, it makes a massive difference. So I think to have that calming presence and influence is just a massive asset for any team that has Rob Lowe on it. Michael
Hen just putting his foot on the line there, unfortunately. Looked like a promising attack from the Nuggets, and the Tuatara will get the ball back. 5-point lead, full court press in action. Zach Riley happy to wait for his teammates to catch up. Vodanovic for 3. Oh yeah!
Right in Ethan Rustbatch's mouth too, and that's, you know, that's a tough one in terms of that. Does a good job chasing over that screen and getting back to Vodanovic, but ultimately Tommy V looking comfortable out there.
Hen to Miller Jose, and Miller Jose just lays it in. Bit of contact on Low.
And having a word there too, and it looks like maybe a wee bit of a miscommunication between Tommy Vodanovic and Sam Pan. But you see there, just probably a wee bit too deep in that charge circle to get anything off that one.
Dilling bringing the ball back up the court. He's been double teamed.
Yeah, and I love that from the Otago Nuggets in terms of just trying to make things uncomfortable and forcing the Auckland Tuatara to swing the ball, get into rotation, because as soon as they're comfortable and they can throw the ball down low and come off and control this game offensively, they're going to be tough to beat. So the Otago Nuggets need to keep making this Auckland Tuatara team as uncomfortable as possible.
Cam Glidden, who's no stranger to the NBL, watching on as coach. Would you have a coach?
Would I have a coach? I would. I had a wee bit of coaching, but I mean, ultimately, I think you have to be a wee bit different to be able to coach, because man, the time and energy and brain consumption that takes is next level.
Here's Vodanovic. Oh, lays it in. He's in some sort of form and just, oh, he might have twisted his ankle there a bit.
Yeah, came up a wee bit ginger on that one, but I tell you what, if there's one guy that's going to go down and bounce back up, it is Tommy Vodanovic, that's for sure. As you see right there, he does such a great job in terms of that jab step to his left and then gets back to his right, and man, if he gets a step on you, he's just going to bump you off for fun.
Copped a bit of contact from Bardsley there in the back after laying it in as well.
Yeah, Matty Bardsley certainly isn't shy from a wee bit of contact as well, so that'll be a good battle.
You can scan the QR code to apply for the Hoops in Schools program, with every made free throw going towards these basketball equipment schools up and down the country. Auckland with the inbound ball. It'll be potentially a corner three attempt. Instead, he'll drive it to the basket and he'll lay it in nicely. Will Josh Dilling.
That is a tough finish there from Dilling, able to get on the up fake. Obviously, he was preferred left hand, but so comfortable going to his right, using his left to get up and under in that instance.
Here's Michael Henn. Vodanovic as well. What a contest that is. Oh, nice offensive rebound there too from Rusbatch.
Yeah, great job there from Vodanovic holding Henn up, but Ethan Rusbatch doing a great job at identifying that was probably going to be a miss, slashing and getting the O board.
Here he is again, Vodanovic. Ball back to Riley. Riley driving to the basket. Nuggets come up with it.
Great job there from Henn staying vertical. Zach Riley trying to get the contact, but just moved out the way, pulled the chair on him a wee bit. Now Henn going straight back at Riley.
Oh, lovely bounce pass there. Oh, thrown the ball straight back to Auckland though, Bardsley.
Yeah, great verticality there from low, and Tommy V won that ball straight back down low. He is making himself known.
Playing like a man-possessed Vodanovic there. He's up to 11 points now.
And, you know, it's a tough task when you've got Chris Johnson, Rob Lowe, and then you're going rightio. Or as we see, Zach Riley puts Matty Bardsley down. But then Tommy Vodanovic comes in the mix, and he's playing like he's playing at the moment. Man, it's hard task.
See, Auckland have just crept out to that 10-point lead, and you almost don't even notice. A couple of possessions, and suddenly the Otago Nuggets staring down in double-digit deficit.
Yeah, and it happened really quickly when you have a team that's as dynamic as this Auckland Tuatara side. But I think probably the difference for the Tuatara has actually been their defense in terms of their contest, not giving up easy fouls, challenging vertically and keeping that high level of verticality. Yeah, we'll run with that.
I liked your one better, actually.
I was trying to say that I was halfway through it and I went, you know what? Next, please.
We'll move on from that as Dilling brings the ball back up the court. What can he conjure up here? Dilling, Auckland nursing this 10-point lead. Looks for Lowe. And instead it'll be Wilkie coming off the front of the rim.
Yeah, great job there, and just continuing that action. You know, you got Dilling who's trying to reject the screen. Louis does a good job at shutting it down, but gets out of the way. Rob Lowe able to keep that continuation of action going, and Dylan Wilkie coming off shooting that thing with confidence, which he needs to continue to do.
Such a sharp shooter. Such a sharp shooter.
There we go.
I caught the bug.
Contagious. It happens. It happens.
Dylan Wilkie, but I was going to say that's his first point there from the free throw line.
You know, Dylan Wilkie's a guy that can get going really quickly. You know, made his mark, was overplaying Big V, I believe, in Australia. Came back to this Auckland Tuatara side last year, and man, was just so dynamic off the bench for them shooting the three. So, you know, it's good to see him step into the starting five tonight and continue to come out and play with confidence.
Slots the second free throw attempt as well. Thomas Vodanovic leading the overall scoring with his 11 points so far. Here's Tuarch, finds Miller-Jose, and it's Tuarch going to put up here. Nice bounce pass to Miller-Jose and lays it in off the board. Yeah,
good action, just patrolling that paint there, Tuarch, able to throw that pocket pass to Miller-Jose. Great line, easy lay.
Rob Lowe, nice pass, and ooh, copping some contact in the back there was Vodanovic from Tuarch. And that is a foul.
And that's the thing too, this Otago Nuggets team trying to up that physicality, and probably caught the Tuatara a wee bit by surprise in that first quarter, which was the reason for that comeback. But you see now, guys like Rob Lowe just not accepting that pressure, trying to attack the cup. And then you see Tommy V doing a good job sealing, able to get that easy dump off.
Casey Ioane coming on the court too for the Tuatara in that number 15 jumper.
And again, just shows the depth, because this is a young guy that has come in and made contributions, had a start, I believe, for the Tuatara as well. So it just shows the depth of this team.
Umpires just having a little discussion here. What do you think they're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know, to be fair. I couldn't actually tell you, because I think it's very clearly a foul and we're going to the cup to shoot too, but we're saying no basket. Well, the ball didn't go in, so I don't know why they would think that maybe it's a basket, but you never know. You never know.
Everyone's a bit confused.
I think they may be having the discussion to see whether Bogdanovic was in shooting motion or not, but I'm glad they came to that conclusion, because he, without a doubt, was in shooting motion. And that's one of those things. If maybe Tommy V was ready to go, ready to shoot, but we're a bit cold in that cold Dunedin gym, might be the reason for that. One coming short in this instance.
Tell you what, I don't think he'd be cold, because he's getting right stuck into his work.
Yeah.
He'd be one of the sweatiest players out there.
Yeah, as we see right now, another look.
Oh,
in
just spills out. Oh, you feel for him there, Bogdanovic.
Yeah, everything but.
Miller Jose looking for the option, eventually goes back to Tuarch. Oh, copped a bit of contact down low there from Lowe. Spills onto the deck.
Yeah, just in terms of got Rob Lowe to rise a wee bit on that, pulling it back. And then you see the former teammates having a bit of a laugh about it too. But yeah, accidental. But when you got the size advantage like Rob Lowe does, the contact tends to look like that.
Yeah, Tuarch yet to really get going. He's been averaging 20.5 points per game, so been weaponised by the Otago Nuggets this year.
Yeah, he really has, and he looked good. He looked good for the Auckland Tuatara, but played more of a role player type role last year. Whereas he's come out this year, and you know he's their primary offensive option, and then he's also a good defender as well. So it's a good two-way threat for this Otago Nuggets side.
Bounces off the back of the rim, but the Nuggets come up with the offensive rebound. It's Hen. Ball spills out of bounds. 41-30 the score is. Just needing an update on the current on-screen scoreboard, but the score is 41-30 to the Auckland Tuatara, so an 11-point lead with just over 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. Is Chris Johnson back on the court, spinning in the paint, gets up, and this one just bounces off the back of the rim.
Yeah, and straight away the Otago Nuggets looking to push the tempo back through Ethan Rusbatch. Wanted contact on that instance, but didn't quite get the call.
Both teams encountering plenty of physicality around the rim as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, it started with the Otago Nuggets really coming out in that the second half of the first quarter is Ioane with that nice wee up fake and finish on that instance.
Had a couple of iconic blocks in that Rapid League contest as well, which Auckland came up trumps in, but bright young prospect for New Zealand basketball is Casey Ioane, as Louis lays in another one.
Yeah, he really is. You know, the Auckland Tuatara have done a good job of producing a lot of these guys. You think the likes of Zach Riley just 5 years ago was in a similar situation to Casey Ioane as Dylan Wilkie. Absolute wet ball from that corner.
Have some of that, says Dylan Wilkie. Extends the score out. Just a minute and a half to go in this second quarter. The score is 46-33, I believe. Just needing an update on our on-screen score, so that's not the state of play. Here's Tuarch. Pass going all the way back down the other end of the court, and the Tuatara will pounce on that. Well, hyped up about it too.
And that's one of those things from the Otago Nuggets, the turnover, but then just the awareness to understand that you still need to go get the ball and cannot allow an easy mistake like that. And you see making the effort there, Zach Riley, to sprint back, take the contact, as we see right there. We got the score back, 48-33 now.
15 points. Make it 16.
Just like that, and that's what this Tuatara team can do. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see what the Nuggets do at halftime, the conversations they have to try and slow down this high-octane offense.
It was 18-17 at the end of the first quarter. Auckland with just a slim lead after a fast start. The Nuggets finished the opening quarter really, really well. Here's Louis. One doesn't fall, but this second quarter, they've just been blown off the park. 30 points for the Auckland Tuatara. The Nuggets sitting on 16 for the second quarter. Yeah,
as we see right now, the Tuatara taking a BNZ player timeout to try and extend that lead. But I think what they've done is they've dealt with those Otago Nuggets pressures. We see there, scan the QR code for your ticket to the big game. But I think that they've dealt with this physicality this Otago Nuggets team has put out, and then you've seen Otago Nuggets a wee bit deflated in terms of their offense too. The Tuatara packing it in, allowing them to shoot threes. The only one they do not want shooting three-pointers is Ethan Rusbatch, and he has yet to shoot the three-pointers. So really executing their defensive scout, the Auckland Tuatara.
Yeah, just 2 points and 2 rebounds so far for Ethan Rusbatch, the inbound ball for the Tuatara. 10 seconds on the clock. Can they do wrap up this second quarter? Can they finish with a flourish from beyond the arc? The Tuatara, just tipped in nicely there from Chris Johnson.
Gives Miller Jose a wee slap on the butt to say, got you there, mate. But an epic finish there from the Tuatara.
What a quarter from the Auckland Tuatara, 33 points. And we're going to go into halftime 51-33. The Auckland Tuatara ahead of the Otago Nuggets. What's gone wrong for Otago in the second quarter?
Well, I just think the Auckland Tuatara have adapted to the physicality and they've just gone straight back at them.
Stick with us on Sky Sport. We'll be back in just a moment with the halftime stats.
Drinks upstairs at the back of the West Stand.
You're tuned into live coverage of the Auckland Tuatara visiting the Otago Nuggets and South NBL action. Thanks for joining us on your Saturday night. It's the Tuatara running away with it in the second quarter with 33 points. My name is Nathan Lim, alongside me, former Nelson Giant Tom Ingham. Tom, what happened in that second quarter?
Well, I think the Auckland Tuatara just responded to that Otago Nuggets physicality and just went straight back at them and just deflated the Nuggets down their offensive end too, in terms of patrolling the paint. As we see right there, the points. Tommy Vodanovic came out in that second quarter with an absolute vengeance down low, but you just see the spread there, Nathan. It's excessive for that Auckland Tuatara side.
Yeah, they've just got so many threats, and how big of a factor too is the size advantage. You know, when they got Chris Johnson, Rob Lowe, these guys who such long arms, and it feels like the Nuggets are struggling to live with them a bit at the rim.
Yeah, well, absolutely. They're already at that size of disadvantage, like you said, but then in terms of that zone, it's not really having the impact because Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson are able to get catches off double teams, and you see right there with the rebounding as well, an advantage to that Auckland Tuatara, but they're just able to pick apart the Otago Nuggets zone too easily right now.
Chris Johnson been so dynamic in this game, on track for a double-double, 8 points, 6 rebounds so far in this game, dealing with 3 assists. Another, I guess, aspect to this contest that we've seen so far is the physicality. People getting shoved in the back under the rim. It's all go.
Yeah, well, it set the tone with Zach Riley damn near putting his head through the court on the first play of the game and then taking a charge. So, you know, this Auckland Tuatara side and this Otago Nuggets side, they're definitely coming out for blood. However, you know, the Nuggets' physicality backed off a wee bit as this Tuatara side have gone straight back at them.
Thanks for joining us on Sky Sport. We'll be back in just a few moments with third quarter action between the Tuatara and the Nuggets, as the Tuatara leading 51-33 in Dunedin.
Nathan, my sound man, is wishing his sister Alicia, who's in the
You're tuned into live coverage of the Auckland Tuatara against the Otago Nuggets in Dunedin. It's Sal's NBL action on your Saturday night, and it's the Auckland Tuatara absolutely running away with it in the second quarter. My name is Nathan Lynn, alongside me, former Nelson Giant, Tom Ingham. Tom, we know about the Otago Nuggets struggles perhaps offensively, but defensively, we're not used to seeing them concede like this.
No, absolutely not. 51 points and a half, I think, will be the record for a half that the Nuggets have conceded so far this season. But in terms of every zone they've thrown at the Tuatara, they haven't really had success. The only success they've had is through the physicalities. We see there through the Your Shout, the Otago Nuggets faithful still believe, which we love to see. Absolutely love to see.
Can't fault the faith. I suppose if you're looking at some of the stats, Auckland Tuatara 5 from 11 from 3, shooting at 45%, whereas the Otago Nuggets down shooting 33%. Any key particular stats also standing out for you?
Well, I think from both teams, the free throw percentage. Right now, the Otago Nuggets, we know they don't shoot the free throw particularly well, but down at 42%, but the Tuatara not too much better at 46. But I think where the game is right now is that field goal percentage overall. The Otago Nuggets currently shooting at 42%, whereas the Auckland Tuatara up to 55%. So that comes down to that paint presence and the success that they're having down low right now.
Thomas Verdanovic potentially been, for mine, the best player on the court so far. He's just been everywhere. He's leading the points with 11. He's also got 3 rebounds, a couple of assists, but he's just bringing such energy to this contest.
Well, he really is, but obviously it's a tough task when you've got Chris Johnson and Rob Lowe in terms of your starting lineups. The Nuggets throwing so much energy into them, but it just doesn't get any easier when Verdanovic comes off the bench and is probably even more physical than Rob Lowe and Chris Johnson, and has just made such an impact at the post, but then also from the perimeter as well, looking to attack off the bounce. And man, he is a tough cover.
Nuggets are staring down the barrel of a 3rd consecutive defeat, but they started this campaign so strongly. What do you think has gone wrong over the past week or two?
Well, I think in terms of they've struggled to find their offensive identity a wee bit. I think that in terms of defense, obviously tonight hasn't been their greatest showing. They've been pretty sound. But I think where it's been a big mishap for them is just their shooting. They're just not able to make shots right now. Their primary shooter, Ethan Rusbatch, has just drawn so much attention from the other team's defenses. They're chasing him off the line, not giving him any easy looks. And they just haven't been able to get the ball going from the outside. And then when they get to the cup, they're not able to finish at the free throw line. So I think it's just a matter of shot making for this Otago Nuggets team.
Physicality's been a real feature of this contest so far. We've seen players hit the deck very regularly. Do you suppose we're expecting that to continue?
Yeah, well, I think especially for this Otago Nuggets team, you have to, because to get back in this game, you've got to show a bit of dog, a bit of fight. And so I'm expecting this Otago Nuggets team to have had a talking to at halftime and will come out and try to up that physicality even more this second half.
I think the first player to hit the deck in this game was this man who's about to throw the inbound past Zach Riley, who hit the deck very heavily. Good to see his rebound. He's back on his feet.
At pace too.
51-33 the scoreline at the moment, and Auckland cough it up first up in the 3rd.
And great job there from Miller Jost fronting Chris Johnson. Still a tough task, but able to get a hand on it in that instance.
Here is Miller Jost looking for his options. Rusbatch getting into the paint. Ooh, dodgy looking pass there, but still falls for Miller Jost. And oh, there we go, laying it in.
And great job there from Matt Bardsley. He does that so well, the slippery eel and good hand on the ball. But Matt Bardsley is an incredibly effective cutter off the ball. So, you know, it's something you've got to be aware of.
16 points the margin. The Auckland Tuatara will just want to maintain this and just keep the score ticking over, really. Here is Dilling, floating it up. Oh, the slam! Have some of that, says Chris Johnson.
Bang, bang. Chris Johnson throws that thing into next week. A heck of a pass there from Zach Riley also.
Just about fell out of my chair.
And the tip to boot. That is an absolute killer for the Otago Nuggets. And this Auckland Tuatara team is up right now.
Oh my goodness me. Let's have a replay of that, hopefully. Tuatara up 18 at this point. It is Dilling from 3, and he'd probably like that one again.
Yeah, not the greatest look there from Dilling, but we know he can shoot that thing, so bit of a heat check in that instance.
Here we are, Rusbatch trying to lay it up, copping a wee bit of contact in the paint there and goes to ground.
Yeah, and Ethan Rusbatch has seen a lot of bodies off every down screen, off every turnout screen, trying to get him open to shoot that three, but the Tuatara are hip trailing him hard and trying to get him to the cup, and does a good job of drawing contact in that instance.
He'll head to the free throw line where the Nuggets have struggled in this game. 6 from 14 so far, but I think that's 7 from 15.
Yeah, well, if you want to get that percentage up, this is the guy you want to get to the free throw line.
Rusbatch converts both. He's got 4 points now for the contest.
And I think to get back into this game, you've got to somehow find a way to get Ethan Rusbatch more involved in this game, because he can turn a game really quickly.
Rob Lowe offloading it, and very crowded. There is Riley, and oh my goodness me, how's your father?
Chris Johnson, man, and that, I mean, this is unbelievable.
I'm going to wet myself as Rusbatch tries to lay it in, and Auckland will come up with it again. Chris Johnson is on an absolute heater.
But that's the thing with the Otago Nuggets. If they're going to double team like that, is Zach Riley, everything but the finish. But if they're going to throw double teams and get into rotation, Chris Johnson is going to have an absolute field day.
My goodness me, the contact just won't start as two players just go sliding out of court. Would love to have a look at that Johnson slam again, playing like Kevin Durant.
And here we go.
Oh, get ready, here it comes. Johnson up, bang!
How is your father? I love that.
My goodness me, well, it's a big margin, but this game not short of excitement.
No, absolutely not. As you see, Bard's able to get the free throw, but man, I tell you what, if there's any lobs and Chris Johnson is on the receiving end of that, get ready to clip it.
Get in the paint, Chris. Do it again.
One more.
Oh, go! Oh, my goodness me!
What is happening?
Insanity in Dunedin. Chris Johnson. Miller Jose. Have some of that.
Absolute scenes at the Edgar Centre right now. Throw it again.
Corner three, Auckland bounces out. We are getting an absolute show. It's end-to-end stuff. I'm lost for words.
My goodness, it is just all happening. Let's see the first one here as we see Miller Jose, bang.
Jose, hello.
But what about that reverse from Chris Johnson? On the defender's head too.
That's just disrespectful.
The disrespect is real.
Rusbatch continues his good form from the free throw line. I can't sit down.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think if I stand up, that might be me for the evening, and the way this is going, because man.
Converts again. It's hard to believe it's a 15-point difference. We've got one side that, you look at the scoreboard, is dominating because it's end-to-end stuff in this third quarter. What a start.
Yeah, it really has been. And right now, in terms of the Auckland Tuatara, you see, the Otago Nuggets trying to go and slow them down a wee bit, try junk it up, and not allow the Auckland Tuatara to get out and open, but Tommy V straight back into the cup.
And off the board as well. He's in fine form tonight. Thomas Vodanovic, 13 points.
Just threw Ethan Rusbatch down like a rag doll.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a little technical error here. Hopefully just have the coverage back in just a second. It is the Auckland Tuatara leading the Otago Nuggets 57-42 in the third quarter. We just had a computer crash, so trying to get images to you as soon as we can. But what about what we're seeing from end to end? The slams, Johnson, Miller Jose. I mean, it's exciting stuff.
Oh, it really is. I mean, you see Chris Johnson with 3 consecutive alley-oop dunks, including a reverse one. absolutely manic. And then Miller Jost getting in on the fun as well with the two-hand slam. So even though, like you say, this game blown out a wee bit, is throwing it out.
We're gonna go to a quick break, and we'll be back shortly with some pictures. Auckland Tuatara versus the Otago Nuggets. Sorry for that delay in coverage. We did have a technical difficulty, so we apologise for that break. And the Tuatara in the meantime in the third quarter up 74-51 with 1:48 left in this third period. And the Tuatara really are running away with it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, before we lost coverage, some absolute highlight reels going on, and ever since.
Yeah, we're back live. The Auckland Tuatara versus the Otago Nuggets at Edgar Centre in Dunedin. It is the Tuatara leading the Nuggets 74-51. We do apologise for that technical difficulty that we did have. Great to be bringing you this coverage again in the third quarter. It's the Tuatara up 23, and it's been, well, it was a very hot start with some slams in this third quarter. My name's Nathan Lim, alongside me, former Nelson Giant Tom Ingham, and it's been an exciting third quarter.
Yeah, absolutely has. Chris Johnson has just come out and had an absolute dunk party, which Miller Jost got involved in as well. But this Auckland Tuatara team has continued to go from strength to strength, and in this lead has ballooned really quickly.
Yeah, Nuggets really searching for something down 23 as Miller Jost has a look over the top of Chris Johnson, batted away, and the Nuggets might come up with it. No, in fact, it's going to be the Tuatara, and laying it in is Josh Wiley.
And Josh Wiley, what a way to get on the scoreboard now, bumping it out to a 25-point lead. Easy through that.
76-51. The Otago Nuggets staring down the barrel of a massive defeat. Would be their third straight. There's Tuatara. Really just haven't been able to get going with the scoring, but that's a nice lay-in off the board. Yeah,
great job there from Tuatara. Dilling's going to try and put some extra sauce on it. Not quite in this instance.
So it is the Auckland Tuatara leading the Otago Nuggets 76-51 at the end of the third quarter. We're going to have a quick break and be back with fourth quarter action just in a moment.
They get 30 seconds each to score the most three-pointers.
Welcome back. It's the fourth quarter action coming up. The Auckland Tuatara leading the Otago Nuggets 76-53 at Edgar Centre in Dunedin. We're about to get back underway, and Tom Ingham, former Nelson Giant, it's been an extremely physical encounter. Both sides have been up competing at the rim, but Auckland Tuatara really just running away with it.
Yeah, they really are, and it's starting to absolutely dissect this defense. You see now the Otago Nuggets, normally starting zone, have gone straight back to man.
Here's Wiley from 3. Oh my goodness me, what a start.
Yeah, and that's a way to absolutely dissect the man too. You have to double down off Johnson in that instance, and good to see Wiley stepping in with confidence and shooting it.
Still plenty to play for is Chris Johnson with the block. We saw him with a few slams in that third quarter. What a player and what a performance he's putting out tonight.
Yeah, he really is an absolute walking highlight package we've seen with those dunks, and then he is a tough contest. And in that instance, Miller Jose trying to go all the way to the cup, but man, Chris Johnson, he's made a career out of doing this.
Cam Glidden, Auckland coach, he'll be happy. Still plenty to play for the Nuggets, as points differential is so important in this contest. We see the steal there and the come up with it. Just getting in the way there.
And a great job there from Miller Jose getting out and showing that, doing that hard show. A bit of disruption, which, you know, the Otago Nuggets have really tried to do, but the Auckland Tuatara, as they've settled more into this game, have done such a good job of just picking apart this Otago Nuggets pressure.
Yeah, Auckland also picking up the Rapid League contest, 44-35 earlier on. Here is Tuach. Ooh, ball coming off the ankles there of Smiler. Still got it though. Here's Tuach. They're going to go for the 3, and that'll bounce out. Nice offensive rebound there. Tuach puts it up nicely.
Yeah, and Tuach does such a good job of getting into the paint, jumps off too, and is really effective in that mid-range area.
Here is Chris Johnson. So dangerous in the paint. Gets a bit of contact going, just loses his footing there. Still there for the Tuatara through Wiley. Here is Johnson. Ledger thinks about it and then decides to drive into the paint off the board and nicely put away.
Yeah, great job there from Josh Ledger. Smiler wanted the push off in that instance, and Josh Ledger with a wee wry smile on his face, but 2 more points.
Tuach, so dangerous and showing why as well.
Yeah, and it's good to see Tuach start to get going, because even though this game it's looking like it may be a wee bit out of reach for this Otago Nuggets, it can give Tuach a wee bit of momentum heading into the next event.
11 points so far for Tuach. Here is Ledger. Wiley. Cross, and nice interception there. The Nuggets come up with it. Just a little bit of contact there. And Rusbatch.
Yeah, a good job there from Ethan Rusbatch. Gives Wiley a wee pat on the behind. But again, for this Otago Nuggets team, there is still a wee bit of time. Obviously, you have to make your run now, but they need to do it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, we could be seeing the benches cleared pretty quickly.
23 points the difference to Arch, with a lot of space to play with there, so we'll put it up, and Johnson can't quite collect the rebound, goes out of bounds, and Auckland will come up with it.
Yeah, and love that from Miller Jose, you know, continuing to keep that high energy, continue to be upbeat, and again, good look from Tuach, hit one before, so really starting to get it going now.
Well, they got nothing to lose at this point, right?
Nah, absolutely not. And I mean, like we talked about, points differential is still a massive thing, and there's always a cluster in the middle of the ladder, so every point still counts. So this Otago Nuggets team still heaps to play for.
That's a pie set on the court as well, as Auckland draw the foul there.
Yeah, and great job there from Dilling, putting his defender in jail, just holding, waiting for that Gortat screen, coming off, taking the contact. You know, Dilling does such a good job of just controlling this offense from the outside with the Twin Towers, and then the human wrecking ball, Tommy Vodanovic, coming off the bench.
Scheme to apply for the Hoops in Schools program. Every made free throw contributing to getting basketball equipment in schools up and down the country, thanks to Chemist Warehouse. Dilling from the free throw line. That one just dribbles out. Lowe comes up with it though.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing, right, when you got a guy like Rob Lowe, and then you see in that instance, leaking out the Otago Nuggets, they have to gang rebound. They all have to be there, and they cannot afford people seagulling out.
Here's Dilling, happy to take his time. Ball over the top to Vodanovic, who's been everywhere this game. Loses it though, and Otago Nuggets scrapping for it, and they do come up with it.
Yeah, and good stickability there from the Otago Nuggets side. Able to get their hand on the ball in that time, but need to try and get a bucket here.
Tuach so often the option. Shooting over the top of Rob Lowe, not an easy thing to do, and Vidanovic comes up with the rebound.
Yeah, tough one there from Boy Tuach. Good look, and still got Rob Lowe on the island, but ultimately just a wee bit short on that instance.
Here is Dilling. Riley. Oh, just spins out.
Yeah, great action there from the Tuatara. Got the wee fake handoff. Tuach sitting off as Miller Jones.
Oh, have some of that.
Man, it is just a highlight face-off right now between Miller Jose and Chris Johnson. And transition buckets, man, he's got a few of them this season. He ain't afraid to throw it down.
You don't mind seeing those two players going to the rim as Rob Lowe picks up a bit of contact, can't quite get it to go in off the board.
Yeah, I want to see Rob Lowe get on this highlight fiesta.
Certainly has been a highlight reel after half-time.
Yeah, absolutely. But Isaac Miller Jose, quite a few of them this season where he's got the ball and has pushed the tempo and pushed the tone. And if you don't step up, he'll take off from a decent way out and he'll throw that thing down.
Yeah, been one of the top performers for Otago in this contest. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists.
Yeah, getting the start as well, and I think has done a really good job in that start. We haven't seen a lot of Hen in this game. They've opted to go with Miller Jose, so you know he's making the most of that opportunity.
Rusbatch, Ethan Rusbatch driving towards the basket, almost deflected out of there by Lowe, but it will fall, and almost picking up the immediate intercept was Bardsley.
Yeah, great job there from Bardsley, and great job there from Rusbatch, you know, continuing to be aggressive. They're still not letting him shoot that three-pointer, but showing he can get downhill as well.
Dilling driving nicely off the backboard. Pace of this game really picking up.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the Otago Nuggets are in dire straits a wee bit, but the big thing is their transition defense has been a wee bit left to be desired as well, which has allowed the Auckland Tuatara to continue with that pace also.
Tuach can't get above the rim, and it's too easy there for the Auckland Tuatara to rebound.
Yeah, he wanted the foul in that instance, but Dylan Wilkie doing a great job of staying vertical, not fouling in that instance.
Dilling over the top to Lowe. Lowe lays it in against Miller Jose.
Yeah, just the wily old veteran took his time with the body contact and then tough left-hand finish.
Just losing it momentarily there was Bardsley, but he's managed to get it back and offloads it away to Tuach. Oh yeah, from beyond the arc, Rusbatch comes off the front of the rim.
And that's one of Ethan Rusbatch's first attempts of the night from three. So the Tuatara have just done such a great job at running him off the line and making him shoot those tough ones.
Dilling, well, that was probably a little bit too easy. Used his pace, got around the outside.
Yeah, way too easy in that instance. You know, Matty Bardsley was just a wee bit of a step behind from the get-go. And right now, you see the frustration really creeping in this Otago Nuggets camp.
Still plenty to play for, obviously, for the Nuggets, with points differential really crucial when it comes to the table, and both these sides are fighting for playoff position. They're both up the pointy end of the table. We probably expected this contest to be a little tighter.
Yeah, I really did, in terms of, especially with the Otago Nuggets with a couple of games slide, but on the road and be able to get back home. And it's always a nice feeling when you can get back home after a decent wee stint on the road. But ultimately, this Tuatara team has bounced back from their loss against the Southland Sharks in a big way and has put the rest of the league on notice.
Definitely have. You look at the likes of the Canterbury Rams, who we'll have a good look at because they play twice over the next sort of few days. Heading to the business end of the tournament when that time arrives. Those likes of the Tuatara and the Rams is going to be fascinating when they go head-to-head.
Yeah, I think so, and I think the other team, when they get their full contingent back, is the Southland Sharks. Still missing Max Starling, who's been, you know, dealing with a bit of an injury, and then Tobias Cameron still to come back from over in England as well. So a couple of massive pieces to come for them. You
talk about teams with attacking prowess. The Sharks are definitely one of those. Here's Tata Paese, offloads it away. He'll have a go from beyond the arc. Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, why not? In terms of Tyson Tatapaese, I expect him in this last 4 minutes, you know, starting to clear the bench. You know, he's a guy who can definitely get some good NBL reps up. So expect to see a bit of him in this last 4 minutes.
Riley offloads to Dilling. Ledger. Riley back to Dilling. Vidanovic, he'll have a go from three. Oh my goodness me.
And I love that action. You know, you got two shooters out there in terms of Wilkie and Vodanovic. Wilkie curls, goes back and sets the screen on Vodanovic's man, gets him wide open.
Not to Paes, he's not a big man, but in there fighting in the paint.
Yeah, and I think that this is really important for Tyson Tatapaese because, you know, in terms of his rapid league numbers from last year are a wee bit down, and in terms of his minutes for the Otago Nuggets, it's been more playing a role rather than being aggressive and going to the cup and taking his shot. So to get a good 5 minutes now of him being the primary option on offense is going to do wonders for his confidence.
"26 points the difference between these two sides, and that, you know, you look at the second quarter where Auckland really ran away with it, 33-16 that second quarter, outscored the Nuggets 25-20 in the third, and then it's 12 all so far in the fourth, so they have tightened things up, just really let the game get away from them in the middle there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the Tuatara got a wee bit of a fright in terms of how the Nuggets responded in that first quarter, but ultimately Tommy Vodanovic.
Wow, off the backboard. Is there anything this man cannot do? We just saw him shoot a three. Takes it confidently to the rim. That one just spills out for Bardsley.
Yeah, and great move there from Bardsley. Got the defender up, just can't quite get the finish in that occasion.
Dominance from the Auckland Tuatara. Dilling offloads the ball away to Ledger. They'll have a go from the corner three. And there you go, Wilkie getting in on the action.
Yeah, Dylan Wilkie in those corners, he is absolutely dangerous. Hit a massive dagger against the Nelson Giants. So
oh my goodness me. Bang, bang from Tatapaese.
Bank season is open for Tyson Tatapaese. And again, another three, getting him up to 9 points.
Vodanovic will steer the attack. Dilling thinks about it. Carries towards the basket and manages to get the ball over the top, but will bounce off the back of the rim. Chisholm won't go. Ooh, a bit of contact there in the air.
Friendly fire, it looked like, in terms of Zach Riley and Tommy Vodanovic. But we see right there, it looks like the bench is starting to come in for the Auckland Tuatara, giving their starting players a good rest, as Tommy Vodanovic not quite in that instance.
He's been everywhere. 20 points so far, 6 rebounds, couple of assists. Real key player for the Auckland Tuatara in this performance alongside Chris Johnson.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll see near the end of the game when we get the Chemist Warehouse stats up, but the spread of this Auckland Tuatara team, it has been an absolute dominant display, but by committee. It has been spearheaded by Vodanovic, but man, the contributions have been immense from everyone who stepped on the court.
And getting a chance to put a few of the youngins in as well. Kailahi I saw coming on. We've seen Ioane featuring on and off.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the more exposure these guys can get, it's why Rapid League is Bardsley with everything but the finish. But it's why Rapid League is so good, to get that exposure for a start, and then when you get this chance in the NBL game, the lights don't seem as bright. So good for these young guys to get in.
Here's Wiley. Wiley gets around Bardsley, lays it up. Oh, that's beautiful.
Great move there from Wiley. Bit of a slip on the decal at the base, but man, stuck with it strong. Great finish.
Auckland effectively using the Rapid League lineup as Tatapaese lays it in off the board.
Yeah, and like we've seen, he can score at all 3 levels. So a great rip there, tough finish.
Ioane. Dalton gets it to Wiley, back to Ioane. Kailahi Aso, he offloads to Pohio. Ioane will have a go from 3, off the front of the rim. Chance here for, denied! Ioane with the block again! Had a couple in the Rapid League contest and just can't stay out of the action.
Oh my goodness, Ioane came there. Looked like we were going to have mano-a-mano at the rim. Bazette going up for the dunk, in that instance able to draw the foul. But man, I love it. The two young fellas meeting each other at the rim.
Oh, he was lining it up too. You can see he read it from a mile out. KC Ioane. What a young talent.
Yeah, really is on both ends of the floor. You know, has shown some incredible athleticism. Chase down blocks galore. As you see, Bazette able to get on the board.
Bazette converts the second. 98-72. This is a rout for the Auckland Tuatara, whose senior players have now all come off the court, letting the young ones finish up. It'll be Dalton with the inbound ball, maybe.
Looks like we've got a BNZ player timeout happening. So the Auckland Tuatara, one of the young fellas, potential opportunity to bring up the triple figures. We'll see what we got. Scan the QR code for your chance to win tickets to this season's big games. BNZ player timeout. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who we go with here. Do we get KC Ioane going downhill, throwing it down one more time? Cherry on top.
Just give the ball back to the Nuggets and have another go at a block. That's
not?
what I see.
Why not?
That's what I want to see. Here's Wiley. Dalton offloads to Ioane. He's got a bit of room to work with now. He's going to drive up just off the bottom of the backboard there.
It looks like that'll probably be a shot clock violation. Looks like the Otago Nuggets will get the ball.
Inbound from Whatapaese. Bringing it back up the court here is Smiler. What can they conjure up here, the young Nuggets lineup? Ball just out of bounds there. 98-72, the Tuatara up over the Nuggets. Been a number of key players for both sides, and I suppose with the scoreline blowing out a little bit, Tuatara giving their young guns a chance to go. And here are the Nuggets in possession, but they lose it, and Wiley comes up with it. Ioane. Here we go, from beyond the arc, bounces out. And that'll do us. The Auckland Tuatara completing a dominant victory over the Otago Nuggets in the Souths NBL. They're back in the winner's circle. And what a contest we had. Tuatara 98, Nuggets 72. What is your summation from that game, Tom?
Well, I think it was a beatdown. The Tuatara from the get-go looked really strong. The Otago Nuggets showed that fight early doors, but ultimately I just think the Tuatara are a wee bit too big. But that man on screen right there, our pick for MVP, Tom Vodanovic, man, he just came off the bench with such a vengeance. Brought the physicality, especially down low, but then showed the touch from outside too. But I just think the size was a bit too much for this Otago Nuggets side. Didn't really have an answer in terms of any of the different zone defenses they threw at them. And this Tuatara side, they'll be happy to be able to split the Southern Swing road trip.
100%. Tom Vodanovic with 20 points, 6 rebounds, couple of assists. We saw a super physical game, but ultimately the Nuggets just couldn't live with the Tuatara, who had too many attacking threats. As you see the spread of the points scored. What was the main difference, do you think, in this contest? Why couldn't Otago live with Auckland?
Well, I think the height was a big thing for a start. You know, the Otago Nuggets, they wanted to be able to establish their zone, but early doors they seen they weren't going to be able to have success with their zone, because you see the spreads in terms of the contributions that the Tuatara made. They were able to have contributions all the way throughout, so it made them change up, try to get out, hard show, get into rotation. You see there Dilling able to get 6 assists. They were able to pick apart that defense, and that led to a lot of showtime from the likes of Chris Johnson.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Chris Johnson and showtime. We had a series of dunks in that third quarter. Miller Jose got in on the action as well. It was all hell was breaking loose.
It was manic, dunk after dunk. And I tell you what, you'll see a couple of those clips on socials later on, no doubt, because man. But Isaac Miller Jose, 5 steals. Impressed with his start tonight, even though they didn't get the win.
100%, probably one of the form players for the Nuggets in this contest. The Auckland Tuatara getting up over Otago in Dunedin in the freezer. Let's have a look at some upcoming fixtures. It's the Rams and the Sharks tomorrow afternoon, followed by the Giants and the Hawks from 5 p.m. Next Thursday, the Sharks are back there against the Saints, and the Jets tackle the Rams.
Yeah, I think that Sharks-Saints game as well, that's going to be one to watch. That's 2 of the better teams in the competition. So plenty of good quality games still to come in the NBL. So make sure you tune in.
100%. Hey, that's all we got for you today. on your Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us. South NBL action. It is the Auckland Tuatara getting up over the Otago Nuggets 98-72. My name's Nathan Lim, alongside me, this woman Nelson Giant, Tom Ingham. We'll see you next time.